It's Mick in Memphis. Charles in East Tennessee. Light it up. Kick back. This is the Real Smoke Podcast. 2 mics, 2 chairs, same sky, different air, long ash, slow burn. Every story takes a turn. Thursdays, 8 o'clock. Let the week just unlock. From the leaf to the glass, we're talking good times that last. This is Real Smoke, Real Smoke. Turn it up, let it roll. From Memphis down the river to the Knoxville hills, we know real people, real talk. Let the conversation flow. Every Thursday, light it. Listen. Welcome to the Real Smoke Show. Cigars, small batch, perfect draw, perfect match. Whiskey whispers in the glass. Let the past and present clash. Legends, up and comers, late nights, long summers, behind the scenes, on the grind. We're getting into every side. This is Real Smoke, Real Smoke. Turn it up, let it roll. From Memphis down the river to the Knoxville hills, we know real people, real talk. Let the conversation flow. Every Thursday, light it.
This episode may contain strong language, weak opinions, bad advice, and men speaking confidently about things they only half understand. Statements made should not be considered factual, morally sound, especially if they are drinking. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 79 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your hosts. That is Mick on location somewhere else, not in the Memphis area. We don't know where he's at. He may be gone somewhere. He'll probably let us know here in about 45 seconds, because that's how long the Cigar Vault ad is. So before we kick things off, let's go ahead and hear from the Cigar Vault.
Hey everybody, it's Norm with the Cigar Vault Oakdale, a small boutique shop located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in a small town of Oakdale. So we are talking about a brand new cigar to the humidor, not a new brand to the humidor. We've had Catelli here from the day we launched, really. And the best part is this is a brand new line that they released at PCA called the Modella line. They released both a Habano and a Connecticut version of this. I smoked this at PCA. It was an absolute dynamite of a stick. Matter of fact, I called Johnny 3 holes from the show floor and I told him, I can't wait for you to try this cigar. 4 puffs in, I placed an order for many, many boxes of this cigar. You do not want to miss out. It's the Catelli, Modella, Habano, and Connecticut release.
Looks like, again, I think it's something that looks like something I'm going to have to try.
Norm usually has pretty good taste and stuff that we also enjoy. So absolutely, yeah, we'll give it a look, man.
Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll put it in the rotation of things we got to do. What's up? Where are you at?
So I am in the great state of Texas. I know we always say the great state of Tennessee. I am in Fort Worth, Texas. Down here on some business, kind of a last minute trip that I didn't really plan for. And I had to fly. So I don't have any of my equipment, which kind of bothers me. I'm on my phone. I feel like I'm back to episode like 1 through 10 on earbuds and a phone. And I apologize in advance. I know the quality is definitely not as good, and I'm in a hotel, so hopefully it comes across all right tonight. But I made the decision to do it from inside the room instead of downstairs because I'm right by a major highway, and it is super loud. So yeah, I'm trying to do the best I can for the show, and yeah, please, thanks for putting up with me, guys. I'm doing what I can. But yeah, at Fort Worth, Texas, man. I'm down here. I'll be down here next week too.
Ooh.
it's gonna find some good barbecue over the weekend. Maybe hit a distillery. We'll see. We'll see. I'm also pretty close to Mark from Katie, so we'll see what happens this weekend. But,
That'll be fun.
yeah.
Well,
What's up,
speaking
bud?
of next week, let's talk about next week. You're going to be doing the hotel podcast event, and we'll be
Yeah.
having this may be good for you because depending on how work in Texas goes and the struggles of trying to help run a podcast from another state, your mental health may need a check. And that's what we're talking about is men's mental health next week.
We are. It's been this week work thing is definitely taking a toll on my mental health, which I obviously don't talk about on here too much, but next week's going to be awesome. And so I know we again have Josh Coburn on, and I know this is the first one we're doing without the doc, and I know she kind of feels a certain
I think that she's going to be back for December.
That's the
because
plan.
we do have mental health through the holidays. So this one coming up is men's mental health. It's going to be 4 dudes just hanging out talking. And in December, we'll end up having mental health through the holidays, just helping people, holidays is a rough time and, just helping people get through that and all that wonderful stuff. So, but next week we do have Josh Coburn. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. And we also have Sean Curtis. He has a YouTube show called Pew Pew Tactical. Does a lot of gun tube stuff. Or Pew Pew Tube. So go check him out. But they're both really, really involved in the mental health part of what they do. So they're coming on and we're going to hang out, chill with them, and we're just going to talk it up. And we're kind of leaving it up to you guys to help us out. We want you guys in the comments to be like the third or the fifth host and help ask questions and put your thoughts and experiences in for next week. So go ahead and start thinking about those and join us and come hang out with us. We would appreciate it.
Real quick before we move on, 2 things. Yes, absolutely come join us next week. I've re-listened to a bunch of those episodes, man, because honestly, it is great to talk to some guys and just actually get some stuff out in the air. It's men's mental health stuff, man. These guys do a great job. And so I was going to say too, I probably in December when we do the next one, I'll actually be back up in Pennsylvania. So maybe Doc and I will do it together. We might do the show together. So that'd be kind of cool. So we'll try to put that together. And second, I'm sure some of you guys, if you're sports fans, you saw the news about Claude Lemieux today. Check on your buddies this week. Check on your pals. Reach out. I mean, it's something we all need to do more often. And check on your buddies. So that's all I got to say. We can move on.
Except for being able to put together all the stuff for the podcast today, I haven't even looked at my phone, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But I know that's going to be the one thing that I check out when we get done tonight.
Yeah. His son found him this morning. He was just at the Stanley Cup playoffs like a week ago, leading the team out. So I'm sure there's a lot more behind it, but check on your boys. So
there you go. And next week is something that can't come soon enough. Then,
yeah, absolutely.
So we did a giveaway, or we did a contest for a giveaway with KD Cigars.
Yep.
What it is, I think it's either a 2 or 3 cigar pack. It's going to be a hat sort of like this. It's going to be a cutter and a lighter and probably a sticker or 2. I know you'll get some stickers from us. But the way that you had to enter it in was to go on to last week's and this week's shorts with Jamon and just comment on it. We had over 60 comments without trying.
Oh, yeah.
So sometime tonight, whenever we do the prizes, that'll be the first prize that we give away later. We'll go ahead and announce the winner on there, and we'll talk about that then. But I think I have enough stuff for the cigar prize pack to be able to do it again. So same rules. Go on to this week's shorts starting tomorrow. There'll be 1 tomorrow and 2 every day after that for 7 days or 6 days. Go comment on all the ones. I think they come in 11 and 4. Every comment that you make enters you in 1 more chance to win. But here's the kicker. If we did 60, just bringing this up just for giggles, it's got to be 100 this time. So we're not even going to give the prize away unless we have 100 comments. So, and I haven't commented back on anybody's stuff. That way my comment didn't count in on it. So it has to be 100 of your all's comments. So help us out. Go have some fun and win something.
Heck yeah.
So let's see. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple things, the stuff that we usually do at the beginning of the show, every show. Let's go ahead and talk about Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club. For that price right there, use the code RSNEW and you'll get 5 cigars each month. And if you use our code, you'll get a Smoke In torch lighter and a perfect cutter. Again, we've been getting cigars packs from them for 6-7 months now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. One time a show. There you go. Anyways, we've been getting in those packs, and I will say, I don't love every cigar that's in every pack, but I have loved every pack because there's always been at least 3 of the cigars that I've really enjoyed, even if it's brands that I normally typically don't enjoy. So go check those guys out. It's well worth the price. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're a cigar smoker, you're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Mick, you want to go ahead and do your Patreon and shirt drop information?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right.
About a month and a half, 2 months ago, we dropped the price right there, $5 a month. It's one tier for the Real Smoke Patreon, Ashtray Illuminati, 15% off Cigar Vault. That alone pays for itself. The sticker pack, shout out on IG, name on the show credits. Members only Discord. We got a sneak peek at upcoming guests, enter to win a quarterly prize pack, ability to attend our monthly Zoom herf, which we actually have our first one coming up here in next week. So there's a lot going on. We sent that out. We are going to have Hayes Gray on with us for the first one on June 6th in the afternoon. I am giving away the first quarterly prize pack out of my humidor. So there's no reason to announce it because if you're not part of the Patreon, you don't need to know about it. But there's no need to post about it. I'm just going to show it on our private group chat that we have with all the Patreon members. And it's pretty awesome. Join Patreon. It's $5 a month, and it all goes right back to you guys. Every penny goes right back to you guys. So have fun with it.
So let's go ahead and talk about this.
Yeah, so we did a new shirt drop about a month ago. I think we only sold 1 or 2 of them, but I'm still struggling with the couple I'm trying to get uploaded for corrections and sheriff. But yeah, if you are in any of these industries or trades or careers or whatever you want to call it, we got the fire, the police. Man, is this smaller on my phone than on my computer? Mail, EMS, dispatch, rescue, and hazmat. Go buy a shirt. Support that. Almost every shirt we do, we give back somehow to that community. We have one right now still, I think, for the next week or two for the right there, the PNNF for the Cigar Army event that's coming up. So I think we got over 50 designs on there. Pick a shirt you love, rep the brand. There's something on there for everybody. So check out our merch store. And like I said, every penny, even from the merch store, goes right back to you guys for prizes and the show itself.
So those of you who are in the chats right now, we see that your comments are coming in. You're probably talking to each other. You're probably not talking to us right now because why would you want to talk to us? Anyways, the hashtags tonight is hashtag Real Smoke. That's for anybody who has not won from us this month, just this month. And the other one is Real Smoke New. You're a first-time person on here. You've never won anything from us before. If you type in hashtag Real Smoke New, you're going to be entered into a first-timers only prize, as well as if you are just anybody on here, you have a chance of Real Smoke, hashtag Real Smoke. You have a chance to win a prize tonight if you haven't won something this month before. Always got to rub this in Mick's face. I know he's not in baseball mode. He's still in hockey mode. But guess what? The Braves are expanding their lead just a little bit. Phillies in the division have come up from last place to number 2. But the Braves are leading right now with a 37-19 record, still the best record in baseball, with the Phillies number 2 in the NL East with a 29-27. And that bottle right there of Steel Austin is what's on the line. So I'm super excited about that.
Just to clarify, it is season record. It's not anything to do with who makes it further in the playoffs or anything like that, right? I just want to make sure I'm on board here. So,
regular season record.
You're definitely getting that bottle, bro. This year, for some reason, man, they're the best regular season team. But I still think the playoffs they might have a chance. So we'll see. But that's cool.
I could see the Braves getting really close to the series. I don't know if they're good enough right now because they're dealing with a lot of injuries. See, again, every week somebody's getting hurt. and they've gone from winning every series to now dropping at least 1 or 2 games a series. So, injuries, that's what the Braves do. They get hurt, then they can't play. And then by the time that midseason comes around, by the time the All-Star game, the All-Star break is over, they can't play to save their lives. So I'm living it up right now. This is the best season that we've had in a long time.
You should, man. I'm just going to throw this out here for Robert in case he's not listening live here later. I just wonder if he watched any of that Padres-Phillies series from this past week. Anyway, we can move on now. I just had to throw that out there. Yeah.
Saw that series right there is what helped bring the Phillies rankings up just a little bit. Thanks, Padres. Appreciate it.
With two games two games over 500, they're 1 game out of a playoff spot. That is sad for the National League.
Yeah,
it's really, really sad. But
it really is. I think you're 8.5 games behind us right now.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to make up that gap. So no, congrats, man. It's good. It's good for you.
All right, so we need to get into what we're smoking, and we need to get into. That doesn't sound right. We don't need to get into our guest. We need to bring our guest on here. I have not had enough whiskey or beer for that one. Just saying. But we do need to go ahead and go into the cigar that we're smoking. And tonight's cigar is brought to you by 13 Knives.
Hey guys, this is Robert over at 13 Knives. I just got back from New Orleans, PCA 2026. A lot of great things, a lot of great cigars that are coming your way this year. I want to give a shout out, more than just plugging this, I want to give a shout out to a few of the cigars that I love, a few of the brands that I really think a whole lot about. Andre and Zach over at HDA, props to you guys. Some great stuff coming this year. Lou at Lure, the guys at Cavalier, Neil Garcia, Jake Wyatt, they got some really beautiful stuff. They just have their plant down in Honduras, and so they got a lot of great cigars coming your way. Just a lot of good stuff. Kevin and Big Tony over at Artista. Artista has some great stuff coming out. Go check them out. If they're not in your local brick and mortar, I would highly recommend you guys ask for those guys to come your way. And now, one of the things that all those guys have in common, they all have the badass Bulldog cutter. They all love it. So, again, if that's not in your local brick and mortar, I highly recommend that you go there and pitch a fit. Just stomp on the ground and say, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. Get this thing in my lounge. I need it. And again, thank you to all you guys out there. Thanks to Charles and Mick of Real Smoke. You guys are amazing. Thanks for putting up with me and some of my crappy video. Thanks to that car that just drove by. And thanks to this beautiful flag, this great country we live in. Peace out, guys. Have a great day.
I still love the car.
I love it too. I love it. He gives us props. He gives the car props and then talks about America. It's so great. It's Robert, man. It's so awesome.
Tonight's cigar.
So this week earlier, because I'm obviously sitting in a hotel and I don't want to get kicked out yet. We've got another week and a half to go. But this week we smoked the Matilde Cigar Company Limited Exposure number 3. Wrapper was Ecuadorian, binder Dominican, filler Dominican, Nicaraguan. We smoked it in a 6x50 size, and the price is right there on your screen. And again, that's brought to you by 13 Knives.
Nice. So we do need to bring on our guest for the night. So before we do that one, we do need to talk to add our sponsor on here. But this sponsor has moved up in position, and it's pretty much because we lost a sponsor, gained a sponsor, and we have a sponsorship open. So we'll talk about that maybe here in a minute. But Mick's kind of upset about it. I mean, he's hurt. He's been crying a little bit. Next week needs to really happen. He's got some mental health problems with this. So we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But our guest tonight, brought to you by Haze Gray.
Savor every moment with Haze Gray Cigar. Each blend is crafted for bold flavor, veteran-inspired character, and premium construction. From smooth and approachable to rich and complex in flavor, Haze Gray delivers a cigar for every palate. Now available our new release, Irmãos do Mar. Order Haze Gray Cigars online at Fat Boys Cigars and from Wolfpack Cigar Club and the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. Visit our website for a list of nationwide retail lounges and to grab some cool Haze Gray merch to rep our brand. As always, we've got your sticks.
And here we go. We have our guest for the night. It is Mark Osborne with, I'm going to screw this up, Adroit Theory Brewing.
Yeah. You got it, man. You got it.
Nailed it.
Hell yeah.
Nailed
Mark,
That'll be the
welcome,
first.
man. I'm gonna kind of lead this off, man. So I've been a fan for a long time. I've been a craft beer guy. I brewed beer for a while. It's small batch stuff, but it was great, man. I've been involved with so many breweries everywhere I go. When I moved from Pennsylvania to Tennessee, man, the first thing I did was hit every brewery I could and find great beer. And it's kind of me and the wife's thing, man. And I've been a fan of what you've been doing for a long time. It's hard to be unique in the world of craft beer now. But I think you've been doing it for so long, man. You have that name behind you, and I'm so excited we could make this work. And to top that off, it's so cool because I honestly never knew that you were really into cigars before I reached out and you got back with me. So, I mean, the whole connection, man, it's like we do a full circle, and it's so cool, man. We're honored to have you on here tonight, brother, and thanks for taking a little time with us.
Well, thanks for inviting me on. I really appreciate the time, and nice putting faces and personalities to the names.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Charles is not as much of he's more of a bourbon guy, and he's kind of taken me down that rabbit hole as well. I've been, if I'm drinking liquor, it's always been rum or it's been tequila. And he's recently taken me down the bourbon rabbit hole. That being said, I've taken him down a craft beer rabbit hole, and I've got him into some beers. And he said for the longest time he would not enjoy beer. He just like, there's no beer that I like. And there's always a beer for everybody, man. I think you can agree. You can find something for everybody.
Yes, I think beer is one of the most versatile categories of alcohol. Wine is, has lots of different flavors, but it's all at the end of the day wine, and different spirits, same thing. At the end of the day, bourbon, it has a certain flavor profile. But the nice thing about beer is that it runs the gamut from light and golden pale to black and oily as night. And some of them are sweet, some are bitter, some are, floral, some are taste like orange juice. I mean, it just literally runs the gamut. So unless you don't like drinking anything, I suppose, or teetotaler.
Yeah.
Short of that, you can find something that you like.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, from the day craft beers hit, I thought it was a win-win for me for so long because I take beer to parties that people thought they hated at that time. And, you revisit it 5 years later and they're all like, man, I love IPAs now. Like it was crazy. But for the longest time, I could take 2 4-packs to a party. People they wouldn't steal your beer. I was enjoying something they weren't. I was drinking 4 beers and getting half drunk and not having to piss 100 times a night. Like it was the best thing ever. But then everybody kind of caught on and they started stealing my beer again. So we're going to jump up to Charles there. This is his first taste of that beer. He's never had your cream stout before, and he is losing his fucking mind. Yeah.
I've seen that look before at our tasting.
It's a milkshake.
Exact look.
It's a milkshake.
It's a beer shake. You can call it a beer shake.
I have so many questions about that beer, and probably half of them you're not going to answer on the show, but we'll get to that in a little bit later. But okay. Charles, I'll let you kick it off, and we'll lead our way up to it like we always do, man. We're going to take it back a little bit. But Charles,
by the way, Charles, you should enjoy being skinny because this is the last time you're going to ever be skinny again.
Well, see, I ended up getting hurt about 2 years ago, putting on a lot of weight, got up to about 270 pounds. It was February 5th. I went to the doctor for no more blood work, got up to 270 pounds. Absolutely scared the shit out of me. Went the next day, bought a treadmill, been on a walking exercise plan since February. I'm down 32 pounds.
Congratulations.
But if this stuff tastes like this, I'm going to find every 32 pounds that I lost because
I guess that's going to be a problem.
It's literally a milkshake in a glass. And so I poured it and was like, okay, let's try it. And that first drink, I need a case. I will load up my entire refrigerator over here with this because I'm just thinking, after working outside, we got 5 acres up here, horses and everything. So after working outside all day on a Saturday, it would be nice in the evening to come back, grab a cigar, a good Maduro, and this that tastes like a chocolate milkshake, and just drink it and chill out. Oh man, I'm in trouble.
I am loving this so much. I am loving this so much.
So, anyways, like Mick said, we do like. Man, that's so good. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. What we usually like to do is like to get back in time. We like to take a cartwheel or two back and talk about how you grew up, where you grew up, what you were like as a kid. You know, what were you this nice little goody two shoes, or were you a hellraiser growing up? Did mom pray every night that you wouldn't get in trouble, or was she always hugging you saying you're the best little boy ever? So let's talk about Mark, where he grew up and what he was like.
Oh, okay. So I was born in Maine, so I am a maniac. Although, in all fairness, I didn't live there very long. My father was in the Coast Guard, so we moved around quite a bit as he got, stationed at different places. So when I was a baby, I lived in Hawaii for like 4 years, and then he moved back to Virginia, which is where I live currently and where I've spent most of my time. And we moved around in Virginia, but then eventually he got a job at the headquarters, which is in DC. And, so that's where I spent my formative years. That's where I went to, most of elementary school, high school. And, up until, 4 or 5 years ago, that's, where my parent or my mom lived. So that's what I call home. I was a good guy. I wasn't too bad for a hellraiser. I was more of the, more sly, no sense rebelling against parents directly. You could always just say what needed to be said and do what you wanted to do. So that was definitely more my MO, but I was definitely not some hellraiser, got into some shenanigans, but nothing too crazy.
We love shenanigans. So any sports growing up? That's always one of my favorite questions, because I think it tells a lot about, if what you played or if you played sports at all, really, or were you more into band or something like that?
No, I mean, I played, intramural type stuff, basketball and baseball. Okay. But I never played on like a formal team other than when I was like in elementary school where everybody got on the team. I don't dislike sports. I just wasn't what I was doing or thinking about. I've always been, even as a young, 10, 11 years old, after my father got out of the military, he started his own construction company, and I would go to work with him and we would work. And so I didn't have a lot of time to be active in clubs. But he kind of instilled in me that idea of being the boss and being in charge and running my own show. So when I was like 13 years old, I was into comic books, which I still am, but I was going to like shows and getting a booth and selling comic books and turning $500 profit that weekend, at 13 years old. And then I would go back and I'd buy inventory, and then the next show I'd go to, and boom, I got even more comic books to sell. And, when I was 18, I went to college and I started a painting company to work during the summer to pay for college. And that went very well. At one point, I actually had 35 employees. I was 20 years old, and I had 35 employees, and we were painting, like 300 houses in 3 months, and making pretty good money. You know what I mean? For 3 months of work in college. But so not a lot of time. I've been working, and I've always enjoyed work. I always enjoyed being the boss, and I've actually never actually had a job, other than, companies I've started, but I've actually never been employed anywhere. So,
so you being into comic books, what was the comics that was up your alley?
Well, when I first got into it, I mean, I was, like 10 or 11, and I was reading G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff like that, because I also, had all the toys and that kind of stuff. And that was the gateway comic that got me into comics was reading G.I. Joe and Transformers, and they were very expensive at that time. You know, like I remember the second issue of G.I. Joe was like $40 in like 1986, which was a lot. You know what I mean? First issue was only like $25, but the second issue, which was more rare, was $40. And so anyway, it kind of got me on the idea of like, these things are really cool and you can read them and enjoy them and collect them, but you can make money at the same time. You know what I mean? If you understood what was hot, where you could buy it for a good price and then flip it, you know, a few minutes later. So it really kind of went down a rabbit hole. And again, I was always a fan first. So I collected Marvel comics and a little bit of DC, and then independent comics, which is really what I was the most interested in. But, you know, rare comics from, you know, the second half of the 80s and into the 90s, kind of the boom of that period. It was fun. I got back into it later in life, but, you know, there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah, I hear you there. So I'm gonna let you make fun of me on this because I know absolutely nothing about comics. But I went on a school field trip when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. So we're talking, I don't know, mid 80s sometime. And I remember somebody we were on the trip with stated that they were looking everywhere for a comic, and they knew there was this comic shop right by where we were going for the school field trip. And it was they were looking for a comic book because Superman had died and it was going to become a collector's issue someday.
Yep.
And
that was 1993.
Okay, so it was 90s. It was 90s. Okay, man, it seems like it should be earlier than that. I don't know. I'm freaking old. But anyway, so I ended up buying one of the comic books as well. It is the only comic book I own to this day. I still have it in like one of those plastic sleeves stuck in a freaking
plastic sleeve. Yeah, Mylar bag. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. That was a big deal.
It's the only one. It's the only one that I have ever bought in my entire life. And so yeah, I guess my memory still serves me well a little bit. But no, I'd say going back to that, man, it seems like you were always an entrepreneur and always kind of doing your thing. And I mean, that's pretty crazy that you've never actually worked technically for someone, I guess. So I mean, tell us a little bit more about that. Where'd that mindset come from? Was it working with your dad, or was it just how things kind of went with comic books, or all of it?
I mean, comic books was really just an easy metaphor for understanding, taking something you were excited about and passionate about, and you know, you were already learning everything about it because you liked it, and then realizing that there could be a business component to it. And my father definitely encouraged that behavior. You know what I mean? Like, hey, he was shocked. He's like, you know, you know everything about these comics, and I would tell him about it, and I'd say, hey, I bought this one for $2, but now it's selling for $7. He's like, you should sell that and take that $5 and buy some more of the comics. You know what I mean? And you know, kind of just instilling that in me. And then when I started the painting company, which was, you know, it wasn't construction, but it was in a similar trade, he definitely encouraged me to do that. Matter of fact, he helped me with a lot of the, you know, business side of things that I didn't know anything about, like matching payroll taxes. I'm like, the hell, what is this? But he helped me get that up and running, and you know, and I really liked being the boss. Being the boss is fun. Now it's very stressful, and you're always working, but you know, it's very fun. But yeah, I've done that, and you know, I've gone to, you know, formal school about business and learning about business, and you know, eventually I got the crazy idea to start a brewery, and then we went down that path, and that's where we're at currently.
So let's talk about how you got there. You lived in DC. Where did you go from DC?
Yeah, well, we lived in Virginia, which is, you know,
right,
the suburbs of DC, and I went to school for undergraduate at James Madison, which is in Virginia, and then I went and got my MBA at Wake Forest in North Carolina, and then when I graduated, I decided to start I was trying to start a painting franchise business. That was the goal. But again, back in, you know, Virginia, which is where I was from, and I understood the market and what have you. But you know, I liked beer. It wasn't like I didn't drink at all, but I wasn't like thinking about beer. It was really just more of like, oh, you go to a party, hey, let's have a beer. Okay. And I was working too much to get loaded like everybody else was in college. So, but I did do a studies abroad while I was in undergraduate, where I went to England. And I was in London, and I really got introduced to that pub culture where they're drinking in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, like nothing is nothing on their lunch break. It's 1 o'clock and the pub is full of all these accountants and, salespeople, and they're all having pie. Hey, how you doing? And, but they're drinking these like 3% beers, and, they'll have 2 of them, maybe 3, and then they go back to work. And, I was just like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. But I got introduced to that flavor of beer, and they also have what they call cask ale, which is like a not carbonated or naturally carbonated beers that are just very, very flavorful and again, low alcohol. But I got a taste for it, and I definitely was like, man, I'm really digging this. This is really awesome. And I remember when I got back home, like, this is in the early 90s, like there was nothing like even remotely close to that. Right. I mean, there was a little bit of craft beer, not really, just regular beer, and, people are just getting loaded. But, it stuck with me. And then I started to seek it out a little bit, but, again, not so much, it wasn't even until like the early 2000s that I even kind of was like, maybe I should try to experiment a little bit more with my beer portfolio. I was drinking spirits and other wine and other stuff like that. But yeah, it really wasn't until about 2007 where I met the owners of a brewery in Pennsylvania called Stouts Brewing. It was Ed and Carol Stout. It's in Adamstown, Pennsylvania. They have very sadly gone out of business.
Yep.
But we were on vacation and we went to their brewery. And me and my wife were sitting at the bar and, having a beer. And we didn't know it at the time, but Ed Stout, the owner of the brewery, was sitting right next to us. And I remember him just giving me this like hour-long diatribe of how you need to drink beer that is local to you. It needs to be made within 25 miles maximum from where you live, and ideally 5 miles from where you live. And like, the benefits of that and how it's made, and, the terroir of, all of that stuff. And I just remember like, wow, okay. But it set me off on a journey of like, this is something I'm interested in. I really love those beers. I love the stories. And so then my wife and we decided to start going on beer adventures, traveling across the country, which I'll tell you about later, I'm sure.
No, that's amazing, man. So I want to know a little bit more about that before we go past Ed. And yeah, I haven't been to that brewery, but I've had their beers, and I agree it is sad that they're no longer there, but I want to know what his theory was behind the 25 miles or local, because I agree, I love drinking local beers, and everywhere we go, me and the wife, we plan our vacations around what breweries we can hit along the way that we've been wanting to hit, yours being no exception a few weeks ago. But yeah. Mm-hmm. So but honestly, what was his theory of drinking local? Just to support local, or was it actually have something to do with the beer being close by to where you live? I don't quite get that one.
Well, I mean, obviously there's some local component business wise where it's a community, and, but I don't think that was the emphasis. They made primarily German style beers, which are very classic old school beers, right? They're made for thousands of years, and they've refined it and they're perfected, and that's that. But he realized, which I'm a big proponent of, is that beer is perishable. Beer is no different than milk or yogurt or something that, like it is made to be consumed right away. This, we're going to package it and pasteurize it and ship it onto the other side of the world. Like, that's crazy, like you're killing all the flavor. And by the time that person gets it 6 months from now, I mean, it's completely transformed into something else. The idea was that when you live locally and you supported your local brewery, and you know what their brewing schedule was, and they would, hey, we tapped this yesterday, and the flavor and the process was so you know, important and so delicate that you would get so much more flavor and enjoyment out of something that was made there and consumed, you know, in a very short window, and that sending it outside, you know, and waiting for it to be sold at the grocery store was not how you should be enjoying beer.
I agree with that 1,000%, man. I'm not going to name breweries, but there's been a few from where I grew up that they never perfected brewing beer, let alone they thought the big picture was getting it in every storage shelf in the state and the surrounding area. And the beer was not great to begin with. They didn't perfect what they were brewing first. They never even really consulted with or hired a brewmaster or anything like. And I mean, I guess anyone can learn how to brew great beer if they really put their mind to it. But at the same time, their main goal was to pump out beer to to bring money back into their business and to have it on every shelf and just keep pumping it out and praying somebody buys it. The problem is nobody was buying it the second time, you know, and it's it just wasn't great beer. But no, man. So I'm getting off track here. I'm really good at that, so stick with me. But now you said about you and your wife about kind of going on this journey. That's something me and the wife do every time we travel. Like I said, is that so? Tell us about the journey a little bit. Like where did that lead you, and when that journey kind of concluded, what was your thing? You're like, all right, we're doing this, and I think I can create something better, or you found styles that you loved everywhere you went, or how did that go?
Yeah, so prior to going to that Stouts brewery I mentioned, my wife and I had purchased an RV right when we got married in 2003, big bus style. And so we were already going on adventures, you know, like we were traveling because, again, we owned our own business. We worked very hard, but we had a lot of flexibility in terms of when we could leave and do things, and we could work from the road. So we were traveling all over the place in the RV, visiting places and going on adventures. But it wasn't so much beer centric. But in 2007, after that experience there, we decided that, you know, hey, this is really cool. We should start going to visit breweries as part of our, you know, journeys around town and you know, kind of planning trips around there. So I remember some of our first ones. We went up to Victory in Pennsylvania. We toured the Yingling Brewery and you know, just went to Trogs, all these great breweries that we, you know, we had a great time and we're in the RV and we're doing all these fun events. And then you get back home and it's like, wow, this is great. So then we start going to beer dinners where they're bringing in, you know, one brewery and walking you through their portfolio and how it pairs with food. I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. I'm going to festivals. And so then we start really going for it and we start going on like beer vacations. So we went on a couple of beer cruises where, you know, it's like 50 people and, you know, they're having beer tastings on the cruise during the day. And then you get to the port and you go tour breweries. And I remember we went up to Maine and we went to Allagash and we went to Maine Brewing Company about 6 months after they opened. And like the owner took us on like a private
Lunch,
tour,
dinner,
let us taste out of the bright tank. And I mean, it was just crazy. It was just freaking crazy. We went to Alaska on beer cruises. So anyway, beer became like a whole thing, and we planned all of our vacations around it. We just did so much about beer, and we're having a great time. But no inkling, no interest whatsoever in doing it. I was just a fan. I enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it, loved it. And then I had that critical moment. I distinctly remember. I think I was like 37 or 38, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm going to be 40 here very soon. Like, perhaps I should do something else, or perhaps I should, you know, give myself a little challenge, because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to ever do it. And so I remember floating the idea by my wife, like, hey, I'm going to be 40. I'm thinking about doing something new, and we seem to like beer, and, you know, maybe we should start a brewery. And I just was like, I was waiting for like oh my God, are you out of your mind? And I just remember she was like, that's a great idea. We should totally do that. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I knew nothing about it.
So before we go into that, because that's always the thing is when we have a project that we want to work on and we're it's like, oh crap, I've got to go tell the wife. Got to at least tell her about it. You know, it's either going to come into the fact of she's going to support it.
Podcast.
or she's going to look at you and say, "That's the dumbest idea ever. What is wrong with you, and why did I marry you?"
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
speaking of wives, so I kept looking off to the side because I sent my wife a text and said, "Get out here, try this beer." And here she comes walking out here, and I'm over here pointing to the refrigerator, and she's like, "What?" I said, "The open one." She goes, she's holding this can like this, going, and she's looking at
World's
it,
biggest
and
can.
she tilts it back. Yeah, she tilts it back and goes like that. She's like, "That's so good." It's like,
Nice.
yeah, it is. She's like, it's ice cream. I was like, it is. So she was
Wow.
walking
So we
back
have
there.
two
And that's what I was
converts
laughing
tonight.
at. Yeah,
Two
that's what I was
converts, not
laughing
one.
at, is because she's going, "I like that. That's really good." So let's talk about the wife. You telling the wife that it was time to start making beer.
Well,
did
I
that
definitely
process
did not
go?
tell my wife that. I asked her if she was think that was a good idea, and thank God she said yes. And she's
She
awesome.
said, "Now we're going to
Very
make beer.
supportive.
Let's do it right now."
Let's do it. Let's get on this right away. And yeah, that was funny. Now she was awesome, very supportive. If she wasn't supportive, I absolutely wouldn't have done it. And it's funny. I mean, I'll tell you all about how we did it and what happened. But like, just fast forwarding, like once we actually opened the brewery, within 6 months of opening the brewery, she opened up a beer wholesale distribution company. So she distributes our beer as well as other people's, but primarily our beer in Virginia. So it's like she basically started her own company, as an offshoot from the main brewing company. So we worked together, pretty much every day, and building up the brewery, but also on the distribution side of things. So
Yeah,
so
man.
let's go into how that started. Mick, I'll let you go into that one.
No, man, I was just gonna say, like, that had to be a huge undertaking. I know you probably don't want to go back through the whole process, but like, were you a small batch like home brewer before you got into this? Before you actually went full scale? And I also know, I just for being at your brewery, I don't even know how many barrel system you exactly have, but it's not a huge system. So what you guys pump out, we can get into that later too, is absolutely absurd. You gotta have people like working 24/7. But it's crazy, man. Like you guys pump out so many ridiculous beers in a short amount of time. And but anyway, we can get into that. But like, how did you go from like either small batch, or did you even do small batch when you got started?
no, I have actually technically never brewed a batch of beer in my life. I know a lot about beer at this point in my life. Fast forward back to 2011 when I'm like kicking around the idea of doing this. I knew zero, other than, wow, that IPA tastes great. I'm gonna have another one. Thank you. But I know a lot now. I can have a conversation with any business owner or brewer on the planet, and talk about beer ad nauseum, because I know a lot about it. But I'm not a brewer, and I never pretend to be a brewer. I had never homebrewed ever. So in hindsight, I probably should have at least done that, or at least done a couple of things, because I would have probably made some more wise decisions earlier in the process that would have been better in the long run. But I knew I had a vision, and so I focused on the concept, and I focused on the marketing, branding aspect of our business, which I think is very important. I think people buy with their eyes. And I hired people to work for me. I hired a guy who was a home brewer. He never worked anywhere, but he made great home brew, and so I hired him, and he started making basically home brew for me, like 2 years before we ever opened. And we promoted ourselves and made up bottles and sent them out to the general public to start building a following and things like that. But it was never, either I'm an expert brewer, or I've hired an expert brewer who worked at this other big brewery, and we're just kind of, bringing them over and doing the same thing. It was, we're starting from ground zero and building this from scratch with ideas that have never been done before, because frankly, we didn't know any better. We were doing things that frankly are insane. I can't even believe some of the things that we did, but we did them, and people seemed to like them. So we just kept going, and it kind of evolved from there.
So I know it's, when it comes to all different types of industry, and we talk to the people in the whiskey industry, we've talked to a lot of people in the cigar industry. it's one thing to be a fan of something. It's one thing to make the something for yourself, but to stand up a distillery, to stand up a brewery, that's a whole different animal in itself. So what was it like standing up a brand new brewery, going to have to find the people, the equipment, the location, everything like that? Because that, I can't imagine the undertaking that it would take to be able to do that.
You'd be surprised. Like I said, in hindsight, I'm saying this all in hindsight. In 2014, when we opened, in 2016, when things were like, hey, this is going great, I was like, this is the best. These are the best decisions I've ever made. But in hindsight, now that I'm at where I'm at right now, I'm like, oof, I wish I had done it a little bit different. But no, I mean, I think the big challenge is doing it. So many people talk, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And, I have this great idea, this great plan, and I'm going to spend 6 years planning it out. I'm like, okay, I'll spend a week planning it out, and then guess what? I'm going to do it. We're going to do it tomorrow. And I might make terrible decisions, and I might end up paying twice and regretting things I do. But at the end of the day, it'll get done. So that's more the approach I took. We rented a space, and the reason I chose that space was because it was 5 minutes from my house, and I didn't want to drive more than 5 minutes to my house. Now, in hindsight, that was a terrible, terrible decision, but it was 5 minutes from my house. And, I hired the guy who worked for me. He's a great guy. I like him. We're still friends. Probably should have hired somebody who had, just a hair more experience. But again, hiring somebody who doesn't have all that experience is not limited by those experiences. He can create and make things that are not dreamed of. And, that's what we did. I should have raised money and, bought, a reasonably sized system and a reasonably sized, build out and all those things. Didn't do it. We bought a half barrel Sabco and we started brewing beer. We got licensed and opened up the shop on a half barrel system. Now we sold out that day, and then it was like, shit, like it's gonna take 3 weeks to make more beer. But that's what we did, and we completely bootstrapped everything. It wasn't until 3 years in business that I actually bought the system we have now, which is a 10 barrel, which is compared to a half barrel, it's 20 times bigger, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very small, very, very, very small. But again, 3 years after being open, we did that.
Yeah.
We also contract brewed, and we did that for a long period of time to get the volume that we needed, because, brewing on a small scale, you just can't make enough beer, even for a modest crowd showing up. But yeah, if you're familiar with brewing, which it sounds like you are, Mick, the Sabco it's a half barrel system. It's the same system that Sam from Dogfish Head used to open up Dogfish Head. It is the system. Wow. There's pictures of him with the exact same model that we bought. And I thought to myself, well, it's good enough for Sam, and he started Dogfish Head. It's going to be good enough for us. That was insane, but that's what we did. And it was really funny. I ended up buying a second one, so we can now brew 1 barrel, at a time, back to back. And eventually we were brewing 2 batches a day on this system. Wow. So we could net 2 barrels of beer a day, brewing 4 batches of beer with two brewers. And we were doing this like 5 days a week to get 10 barrels of beer a week so we could sell it at our tasting room.
I will say,
now we can do 10 barrels in like 4 hours with one guy. It's not that big of a deal,
I will say though, I think, and which I'm not familiar with brewing at a larger scale. I think at a smaller scale, it's easier to get what you're trying to make. I think the bigger you get, it's easier to screw something up along the steps. From what I've heard and talking to brewers, that small batch stuff is a lot easier to control and keep it maintained. But at the same time, it seems like you guys transitioned well into to getting into a bigger batch stuff. So, but no, so it's funny you mentioned Sam. I was gonna go real quick and tell a story, but so Sam, our Dogfish Head, first time I ever went there, we obviously signed up for the tour, and we wanted to get the tour. And the tour guide asked in line, she's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Mick." She's like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "That was fucking weird." So later in the tour, She's telling all about why Sam moved to Delaware and whatever and all this. And she's like, and Mick here was our brewer at the time, and he's going to tell you all about it. And I actually told the story about him meeting his wife and moving down there for a woman, and that he started brewing beer here, and this was home for him because he moved down here for his wife. And the lady looks at me and goes, "Did you actually know Sam? Like, how the hell do you know that?" I'm like, "No, I'm just a fan. I know craft beer." So it's kind of funny. I told the whole story, and I kind of screwed her up because she thought she'd mess with me, but it turned around on her pretty good. But
you should have just grabbed the microphone out of her hand and been like, "Hey, I got it from here. Come on, everybody, come with me. We're going over here and check out the brewing
exactly.
system."
It was so great. It was so fun. Our friends that we were with were like, "Man, that was awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, I knew the story, so we were good." But no,
I love Dogfish Head. I'm sorry. I mean,
no, go ahead.
Since you told it, Dogfish, I have 2 Dogfish Head stories. I love Dogfish Head.
Yeah, man, go.
I've met Sam a couple times, but not enough for him to give me his phone number or anything. But the first story, real quick, my father-in-law, who I'll talk about later when we start getting more into cigars, we went to Rehoboth, which we vacation at pretty regularly. And of course, you're going to be in Rehoboth. You're going to go to either the brewery or to the tap house. So
Dewey Beach and Dogfish Head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Dewey, obviously, is right there. But the brewery is in Milton, the big production brewery. So we called them up, and they, one of the nice things about being in the industry, you get on the private tour. So we went there and met with one of the brewers, and he was showing us around, and they were bottling at the time 120, which is their huge, like 18%, IPA. And they were bottling it. So he's literally plucking bottles off the line. Like, "Here you go, let's sample these." "Okay, cool, man, let's do it." And anyway, so we leave. He gives us a case. We go back to the house where my father-in-law is staying, and we were going to a beer dinner back at Dogfish Head. So we left the beer with him. I was like, "Here you go." So we get back a couple hours later, and he's standing in the kitchen with this bottle of Dogfish Head 120 in his hand, and he's just drinking out of it. And we're just looking at him like, "Hey, man, what's up?" He's like, "Man, this beer is fantastic." And I'm like, "Yes, I know it's fantastic. It's 120. And he sips it, another sip, finishes it off, goes and cracks another bottle. He's drinking it. And I'm just like, "How many of those have you had?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, like 4 or 5. "Why?" Like, no reason. They're like 18+%. And you're drinking them like they're like some Bud Light or something there, bro.
That's crazy. That stuff is so, like, literally, I do enjoy it, but when you get towards the end of it, it's almost like taking a shot of liquor. Like, it starts to really burn. It is strong. It's like drinking a lower proof liquor, bourbon, something.
Absolutely.
So strong.
Oh, absolutely. It's strong. It's like sherry. It doesn't taste that strong, but then you start drinking it and you're like, "Oh." So anyway, other story about Dogfish Head is actually where the name Adroit Theory came out of a trip to Dogfish Head where we were feeling pretty good. And we came back to our RV and decided to come up with the name of the brewery. And I just remember it was because we'd left there and we were feeling pretty good. And we came up with the name for Adroit Theory at that time. But I'll tell you about that later.
No, that was my next question. Let's talk about the name.
Okay,
it's something that I've never heard before. So tell us how you came up with the name.
So we were at Dogfish Head and we were drinking. I don't think we were drinking 120. We were probably drinking, I think, 90 Minute or maybe 75, which is actually my favorite IPA they make. But anyway, we were feeling pretty good.
Mine too. 75. They don't make that anymore, do they? They don't make it anymore, do they?
It might be, at the tasting room they might.
Okay, I haven't seen it forever. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's perfect. And then they actually make a variant of it with maple syrup, which is chef's kiss. Absolutely good stuff. But anyway, needless to say, we were feeling pretty good, and we went back to our RV where we were RVing and camping, and we got to come up with a name for the brewery. And we'd already come up with what we ended up not using for the brewery, which was Antithesis. That was going to be the name of the brewery, which I'm very glad in hindsight we did not go with that name because it's hard to say when you're sober. I can't even imagine after a few drinks what would come out. But we had tried to register it as like a trademark and all that good stuff. And the lawyers are like, ixnay on the Antithesis. It is not going to work, And we're like, okay. but we'd already like started designing some artwork that had like an A in it. So we're like, well, maybe we can find another name that starts with the letter A. So my wife and I are sitting on the couch in the RV, and we had a thesaurus, and we're flipping through it, and in the A's, we started the A's. We just started going through, and eventually she gets to the word adroit. She's like, adroit. She's like, do you know what that means? I'm like, I have no idea what that means. What does it mean? And so she reads the definition of it. And I'm like, wow, that actually sounds pretty cool. I was like, adroit. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Like, is this a real word? It's not archaic or something, not like some old English word that no one's ever heard of. She's like, no, I think it's like a real word. And I was like, adroit. And reading the definition, I'm like, well, it's like a craftsman, someone who's skilled with their hands, like a bricklayer is adroit at his trade. Somebody that is actually doing things, not pushing buttons on a computer, actually like doing their trade. And I was like, man, that sounds exactly like what a brewer does. Brewing is very manual, and you're taking raw ingredients and you're transforming them into beer. I was like, that sounds awesome. And then the second definition is that you're very clever, and I'm like, yes, I like that quite a bit. So then I was like, what if we tack theory onto it? I was like, because I'm really not that interested in making, flagship beers. I'm not really interested in making beers that are easily categorized as, that's this and this is that. Like, I want to make more, theoretical beers, concept beers, experimental beers. And then I said, I was like, Adroit Theory. I was like, yes, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. And that's the last thing I remember that evening. And then then we woke up the next day and I'm like, Adroit Theory, what? So, but anyway, yeah, the next day we woke up and we thought it was as good of an idea as we did the night before. So that's what we went with.
Well, the good thing is that you remembered that you looked it up and that you were talking about it, because that would have sucked so bad if you woke up and went, do you remember what we were talking about last night? No, I ain't got a clue.
I know.
That's happened to me a few times.
Yes, no, I know exactly.
So you kind of got into what my next question was. When people especially in the craft cigar industry, there's a couple of different lanes they go through. You've got some of the smaller brands who are trying to build their portfolio of what their legacy brand is going to be. They come out with 3 or 4 different style of cigars, and that's their cigar all the time. And then you've got some that live in the limited production range. It seems like 4 or 5 times a year they come up with 200 boxes of this. 6 months later, 200 boxes of this. What I was going to ask was, what was your all's philosophy behind it? Was you wanting to do something that was going to become more of, I have my own legacy beers, or were you going to be along the lines of, you don't know what we're coming out with next? It's going to be something new. It's going to be something different. It's going to be something crazy, but there's always going to be something for you to try.
Definitely the latter rather than the former. Again, I didn't say it explicitly, but I'm pretty sure you have deduced that I started the brewery because I wanted to make beers that I was interested in and that I was interested in drinking. Very little concern about like maybe what the customers might want and what they were concerned about. And at the time, and even to be honest with you, even to this day, like I'm very interested in drinking things I haven't had before. Like, when I go to a store, I go to a bar and I'm like, I've had that, that's good. I've had that, that's good. Never heard of this. But it's what's new. That's what I want. And occasionally if there's some classics that I just love and I, a good chance I'll order if I go somewhere. But again, I can count them on one hand how many fall into that category. It was like, what is the latest that you have? That's what I would like to try because I haven't tasted it before. And I'd like to make my decision on it. So when we started the brewery, the express purpose was to never make the same beer twice. And if we ever did make the same beer twice, that we would, change something in it or reinvent it or refine it, do something to it. And, people would come in and be like, oh my God, this is freaking amazing. This is delicious. I would like to buy this. Oh, sorry. We don't have that. We sold out of it. When are you going to make it again? Maybe never. I'm not sure. Check back in a month, but yeah, I mean, I had zero interest in making, definitely making a flagship. I had zero interest in that and zero interest in, making something that was always the same. I just kind of looked at it as like, hey, we're experimenting. We like this from the last batch and maybe not so much of this other element. So we're going to refine it and change it. And yeah, we might call it the same thing, or, call it batch A and batch B, but like we have no interest in making the same thing. We're going to make it different. We're going to improve the things that we like and take away the things that we didn't like, and just keep doing that in a variety of styles over a long period of time. And that has evolved and changed, but that was the absolute hardcore mentality. I mean, for definitively the first 5 years of being in business. And we made like 800 or 900 beers in that first 5 years.
So let's talk about the first 6 months. You open up this brand new location, you're brewing your first beers that, the brand is, I guess, going to sell to the public. What were some of the first ones that you put out there, and how did the public receive those?
So the first beer we ever made was a 10% Imperial Stout. Yeah, Future You Hates You, that's a classic. I wish we made that beer day one. To be honest with you, I'd probably been even more successful, I think, if I made. That's an awesome beer. So this was a beer called Black As Your Soul. That was the first beer we ever made. It's called Bays. American style Imperial Stout, bitter, black, roasty, 10% alcohol. Label was absolutely sick. We brewed it with cherries and then aged it on, man, it's a long time ago. We aged it on wood. Like, it was wood. It wasn't barrel aged, but we aged it on staves. And it was a nice beer. And it was definitely blowing people's minds in 2014. Like, people were not making beers like that. I mean, there were people making beers like that, but there was zero people in Virginia, DC, Maryland, North Carolina. I mean, zero. Nobody was like, holy crap, like, what is this? This is your first beer. This is what you have. I remember the second week we were in business, people came to the brewery and like, all we had was stout. Like, well, hope you like stout, because that's what we got. We have stout. And I just remember they were so confused. They were like, there are no IPAs? I'm like, nope. There's no like lagers or like 5% beers. Like, nope, you're in the wrong place. Go away. I mean, confused. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. We had a very big following the day we opened, and the place was packed, and it stayed packed for several years. And we had a big following, and people knew who we were. And again, it was definitely a divisive, people liked us, people didn't like us, but there was definitely no gray area. We committed to, this is what we're doing. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. We don't care. This is what we're doing. And
were you bottling day one from when you started?
We bottled from day one, but like, we bottled literally by hand, like a little hand filler, one at a time. 375. Yep. We put cork in cage. That's what we did. 375.
Oh, wow.
Cage. Did that for like 3 years. That was insane.
So the first time I heard of you guys, I think, was what year was that you guys actually started? I'm sorry, I should probably have that written down.
2014.
Okay. So it was probably like 16 or 17. A guy at work, one of the only craft beer nerds early on in the craziness that, we talked every day at work about different breweries we've tried and beer we picked up on trips and stuff like that. And he was the first one to tell me, I went on a journey after that to try to find some of your beer. And the first one I had was in a bottle, but I think it was capped. So it might've been a few years later, but it was a bottle, and it was a stout, and it was a pretty high gravity stout, but I can't remember which one it was, man. I wish I had a picture of it to this day, but it put me on a journey, man. I'm like, this is different in a world of things that seem very similar. You know what I mean? So, and that's what kind of always kept you on my radar as a beer drinker. So, I mean, it was definitely something. And still to this day, I'm drinking 2 beers right now that I have never had before. I've had a bunch of your beers at this point, but I've never had these ones specifically. And I would never guess that the proof is anywhere near what it is. That's what, to me, amazes me every time I have one of your beers. And I'm like, how? And it's like fucking magic. It's unbelievable. So anyway, I'm getting a little off subject, but I'm a fan. I'm blown away.
I appreciate it. And that's exactly the type of mentality of a customer that we were trying to attract. Like, you were looking for something different. you were willing to take the chance and try something that didn't really fit into the box of, maybe, something you've had in the past, but, willing to give it a shot. And then if you like it, willing to seek it back out. That was the idea. And I will tell you, we were even in 2014, that was actually one thing we're very good at. It was hiding alcohol, how to make a double-digit
Amazing
beer that doesn't taste like you're about to get loaded and you don't even know it yet until you stand up. How do you do that? So yeah, I mean, the first beer we made was at Bayes. I told you about 10%. The next beer was an American double IPA, was like 9.5%. And then we made like a 7.5% Saison. And then we made like a 10% red ale. I mean, it was just like, we just started making beers and none of them were below 7%. Like we just said, we're not going to make any beers below 7%, which at the time in 2014 seemed like a lot. 7% was a lot. Now it seems like nothing. But the first beer we made less than 7%, I believe, was in 2017. We'd already been in business, or maybe 2018. We'd already been in business like over 4 years, going into 5, and like there were no beers below 7%. And many of them were, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on up. So it was a thing.
I know it's, again, a little off track, man, but one of my closest friends lives in Templeton, Massachusetts, and he's been sending me, not sending me because that's illegal, but Treehouse for very many years. I've been a big fan, and there's only a few brands that and not because you're on the air with us. I've told Charles this, man. There's like 5 or 6 breweries that I would put above everybody, and you were on that list. And but the other ones, they do kind of stay in their box and they kind of do their same thing and they have their staples. You being outside the box and not really repeating a whole lot, yeah, it kind of sucks because you find something you love, you may never see it again, but at the same time, it causes that hype, and that's something that you absolutely love and you can talk about forever. That you're like, man, I'm telling you, this quadruple, I've never had a quadruple in my life. Hazy IPA that wasn't boozy. This thing drinks like a 5 or 6%er, and it just blew my mind. And then it's just stuff like that's like a cult following, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a special one right there. I'm glad you had that, because I mean, that's a beer like when it came out, I took home and drank at my house. Like, I thought it was pretty awesome. So glad you like it. That was a collab with the band Cryptopsy. I don't know if you guys are into heavy metal, but that's who that beer was with. I'm
into some pretty hard stuff, maybe not quite that hard, but we do know a guy that is. John Aldi will tell you that he is. So, but yeah, he's into some weird stuff. He's one of our sponsors too, Beard Apothecary guy. He also likes Taylor Swift on the backside of it. He'll tell you he doesn't, but his wife does. But either way, I mean, he's a Swiftie by heart. But it is.
It's funny. I didn't wear it tonight. I thought about wearing. I actually have a Taylor Swift shirt that I wear. But she has an upside down cross on her forehead, and on the back it says "Swift, Swift, Swift," the mark of the beast. I love wearing it because people are always just like, "Is that a Taylor Swift T-shirt?" And I'm like, "Sort of,
kind of, yeah, kind of, absolutely."
If she was the Antichrist, anyway, I digress. So do a relight on this cigar here.
We're making you talk too much. We're making our
I was about to say we're making you talk way too much, but I do want to know a couple of things, and I like asking this to distillers. There's always something that you make that you think is going to be something that's kind of, it didn't come out as quite as what you wanted it to be, but ended up being a phenomenal success. But then there's, on the other hand, there's something that you thought was the best thing ever that was like mediocre success. So what were some of those that you had over the last, since you've been in business, that you're like, I don't think this was going to do well. Everybody loved it. I love this one. I don't think everybody else did.
I mean, obviously when you're doing experimental stuff for the first half plus time you've been in business, right? Like, there's going to be hits and misses. I will tell you, that's not the question you asked, but I will tell you the most unsuccessful beer we ever made, just because it's amusing. This is very early on, but we made a Saison with lavender. And I don't know if you guys ever had Saisons. It's a very kind of pulverizing beer to begin with, but as long as you get past Yeah, but it's light and delicate and interesting and weird. You know, I mean, it's just a beautiful beer. I love saisons, but we added lavender to it, and so it had this beautiful color and just absolutely beautiful nose and aroma. And I was like, man, this beer is, I mean, it's so interesting and so fantastic. And then people started coming in and they started ordering it and drinking it. And then I made the mistake of going on Untapped and looking at their reviews, and I was like, ooh. And all the reviews said, could be summed up like this. This beer smells like my grandmother's soap and my grandmother. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. They put lavender in soap quite a bit. And there's a lot of like kind of like old woman perfume that uses lavender as one of the aromas. So once you said that, though, then you couldn't go back to the beer and be like, oh, man, I'm enjoying this beer. Because all you could taste was soap and your grandmother's perfume.
I will say on the backside of that, the one I was scared of that I got from you, I think it was one that you threw in that 4-pack for us, and thank you for the hospitality, by the way. But the lemon rosemary, I believe, was the one that you, I forget the name of it. I apologize, but damn, I did not think I was going to like that, but what a fucking great summer beer, man. Unbelievable.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because that actually would be a perfect example of what your question was. So it's called Adroit Theory's Baby. It has, the label is the movie poster for Rosemary's Baby, but it's a sour, and it has lemonade and rosemary sprigs. And you're like, okay, the lemonade, okay, I get that. And rosemary, like, isn't that something they put on bread at Macaroni Grill? Like, the hell? You know, how is that possibly going to make sense? And I mean, a huge, huge success. But again, you look at it, you look at the menu, and you're like, I don't know about this. That sounds really weird. And I don't know if I would like it. I don't even, my mother-in-law hates rosemary. She hates it, hates rosemary. She gets the bread at Macaroni Grill and throws it out. I'm like, what is wrong with you? She hates it, loves that beer because it's the perfect combination of light and delicate, a beer that tastes like summer. It's got that rosemary element, but it's so subtle, and it's just almost just like a hint of familiarity.
Oh yeah.
So I think that would be
Charles,
a great example
of
a beer that I thought was going to, you know, be very polarizing and, you know, very niche, and yeah, some people would love it, and then everybody else would hate it. But like everyone, I mean, if you don't like that beer,
Charles is now running to his fridge because he. I just told him he has one of those. I know he has one of those because you gave us each one of those in the 4-pack, and I know he has one of those somewhere. He probably threw it out too, or not threw it out. You know,
maybe his wife drank it.
Kidding.
Maybe his wife drank it.
Maybe she now knows what good beer is, so she's drinking.
Well, yeah, it'll be a bit of a culture shock going from that.
Look at this shit.
Melted,
there
it is. That melted milkshake to that. You're drinking these in the exact opposite order you should be drinking them in.
You are.
You just drank a milkshake.
Oh,
now you're going to go to like.
I'm definitely not drinking this one right now. I've only drunk about a quarter, maybe a third of the milkshake one. After I saw what the alcohol proof was on it and how much is in there, I told Mick, if I drink this like I think I would drink this, I'm not walking off the show. I'm rolling off the show.
Bro, that was low.
No
that was low alcohol. Yeah, just try that one too, man. No, you got to drink them, bro. He's on here. Mark's on here.
I will try this one. Nah, I got the chocolate taste in my mouth right now. So
drink
I will try this one. So,
after mowing the grass, you know what I mean? Like
I was about to say, I have a long weekend that I have to work outside. I will end my evening with this one.
Yes.
And just like what you said about your mom, I hate rosemary.
It's so good, man. Though.
So good. I'm interested. I want to see the balance between lemon and rosemary, and then. Does that equate with like when people do a, lemon over fish and then put rosemary with it? Because that would be my wife's like favorite meal. So these are the things that I'm thinking right now. So I'll go put this back in the refrigerator. Y'all keep going.
It is the perfect after like beer to drink when it's hot, you know?
Yep.
It's sweet enough, but not too sweet. It's tart enough, but not too tart. And the rosemary is just a hint. And to be honest with you, if we didn't tell you there was rosemary in it, you'd have to be a real connoisseur to be able to pick it out and know that it was rosemary.
You'd say there's something. You'd say there's something. Yeah.
There's something in here, and I can't put my finger on it, but man, that's delicious.
100%. No, it's so good, man. I would not have thought of those two as a combo. Bravo, man. Brilliant.
Cool.
So I guess where did cigars come into your life? Because we're gonna kind of tie these two together, and then we'll kind of bring it all back together and put a
whole reason I'm here. Cigars.
Well, yeah, kind of. But I mean, we got to know it's a cigar podcast.
Well, hey, I mean, this is not the beer podcast. This is the Real Smoke podcast.
It's our brewer series, though, man. So it's awesome how everything comes back around. So we're honored to have you on for the beer, but man, cigars too. We're winning tonight. So yeah, man, tell us all about it.
No, it's a win-win. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm probably like most. Well, maybe not most, but I think the average person, like. Men would have a celebratory cigar after, hey, it's the Super Bowl. Hey, let's have a cigar. Hey, our team, I mean, that kind of stupid show. We graduated from college. Let's have a cigar. No, not even on my radar or something that like I would actually enjoy other than someone hands me one in a celebratory event. Right. But when I got married, which is in 2003, my wife's father, my father-in-law, Glenn, the guy who was drinking the 120 back at the house, he was a cigar smoker, and he'd been a cigar smoker his entire life. I think the majority of his life was very economical cigar smoker. He just liked smoking cigars, so he smoked, short stories and that type of stuff. But later in life, he really started to, be a little bit more refined in what he liked and a little bit more knowledgeable about those type of things. He had traveled, to South America and, the world. And, so I think he had a working framework for cigars. And again, he was very, very much into it. And then as I began to develop my interest in beer as a craft, and he was developing his interest in cigar as a craft, we would oftentimes go on these RV trips together, and we'd go to the breweries during the day, and then we'd go shopping, and we'd come back to the rig, and we'd break out the cigars that we purchased, at the shop, and we'd sit by the campfire, and we would smoke this, and we would smoke that, and we'd discuss it and talk about it, and then we did several years doing this, and it was always the highlight of the trip was it's 11 o'clock and we're sitting by the fire and we're smoking this triple Maduro box press, something real good. And anyway, we're very much into it. And like I said, I've never fancied myself a full-blown aficionado of cigars, but I'm definitely more knowledgeable than the average person. And I definitely know what I like, what I don't like. And I follow, certain, makers, and I have my favorites. And, it's always something that I definitely took about, 10 years, but I really kind of got into it. So when we decided to open the brewery, a lot of the beers we were making, which we still to this day make, but particularly at the beginning, were very food focused beers. Like a lot of the ideas came out of the culinary world in terms of flavor profiles, flavor combinations, things like that. So we decided from day one that when we would release these beers, we would put food pairings, cheese pairings, and cigar pairings right on the menu, or right on the label, I should say. And these were like legit, straight up legit, like we thought about them. It wasn't just like, oh, pair it with cabbage cheese. Like this very specific, very, very, very specific pairings. We've gotten away from that a little bit over the last couple of years, but like for the first 6-7 years, like every single beer we made, there were pairings on it, and very specific. There they are. Yes, very specific. What cigar are we're pairing with that?
So super cool. That's why I showed this can. One of our favorite brands. We're actually members of the Saints and Sinners Club. Pete Johnson was on our show. Tatuaje. Tatuaje is actually on this, and we fucking love Tatuaje, man. When I saw this, when I cracked the can, I'm like, dude, it's the first time technically meeting Mark, even though we've been talking for like 6 months. Like, this is fucking awesome, man. I feel like I've known you forever. So this is so cool, man. So Tatuaje, that's phenomenal. But yeah, man, it's so cool that it came full circle, and your father-in-law kind of led you on that journey. I think it's about the same for all of us. I've told the story so many times that when I first got, like, I was always the going fishing, going hunting, occasionally a couple times a year, I'd have a cigar, and I always enjoyed them, but was it part of my life? Not really. Not until I moved to Tennessee. I met Charles. I joined the TriStar Club. I started really, it became, as Charles always says, a ritual for me, almost like 2 to 3 times a week. We'd hang out, we'd smoke cigars. It was kind of my therapy session. And ultimately it led to doing this, the podcast. And yeah, our show is based on cigars, but man, we're kind of like you with beer. We do what interests us. It started out with cigars, and then it led to distillers, and then it led to brewers, and then it led to a snake wrangler a few weeks ago. Like anything that I'm like somebody that interests us online, we're like, hey, you want to be on the show? I mean, it's kind of what we do now. And but
Eddie Hall,
man,
world's strongest man.
Yeah,
nice.
we had him on the show. Yeah, man. So many cool journeys it's led us on, and it's truly just the beginning. We're only like a year and a half into this, and we've had so many great guests already. But yeah, man. I love that. I love that you actually took the time to put a pairing on. So the pairing with music, I guess that kind of leads me into my next question. Your love for heavy metal, for music in general. Where did that come from, and what is the influence on beer that kind of ties the two together?
Well, it's funny. The music edition is relatively new. We did that maybe 3 years ago. We do a lot of band collaboration beers, and this one band was like, "You have food, cheese, and cigar. Why don't you have music pairing on here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a very good question. Why don't we do that?" And so once they suggested, we added, obviously their album onto that label. But the music thing, it's funny. I mean, obviously I like heavy metal, but I don't love heavy metal as much as I think people assumed that we did. I think when we first came on the scene, people were like, "Oh my God, like these look like heavy metal album covers. Your artwork is crazy. You must love heavy metal. We love heavy metal." So we kind of curated our own fan base of people, strictly because they looked at it and kind of associated with it. And we didn't run from it. We're like, "Hey, yeah, yes, metal." And we kind of ran with it. And obviously at this point we do lots of collabs with bands, and we also do collabs with cigar manufacturers, which I'll tell you about here in a minute. But we attracted our own customers, we attracted our own employees, and and the vibe is definitely metal. My personal taste, I never the first time I listened to heavy metal was in 2007. Like, yes, I grew up in the 80s, I went to high school in the 80s, and in the 90s, and I listened to nu metal, and I listened to a little Pantera, when it first came up. But like, it wasn't something it wasn't part of my life. I wasn't wearing like a jean jacket with all my favorite bands on my battle vest, in the 80s and the 90s. First real, uh-oh. Did I lose my volume?
Nope. No. It's me. He was pointing at me. We're good. He was saying I wore the jean jacket. I may have wore the jean jacket. I'm not going to say if I did or I didn't. But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I get it. I mean, it's like I was into like R&B in the 80s. I mean, it just wasn't part of my lifestyle. But I remember in 2007, which is right around the time where I got interested in beer, is that I listened to I had XM in my car, I guess Sirius in my car, and I remember I was just so bored. I turned over to the Liquid Metal channel, number 40, and they were playing. I just distinctly remember this. They played "Bleed" by Meshuggah, and I remember thinking to myself, "Jesus fucking Christ, what is this fucking shit? What is this? Like, what is happening?" And I just remember I distinctly remember just being just in like shock and awe of like, this is so fast and so heavy, and I have no idea what they're saying, but I need to listen to more. So, I kind of got hooked. And it's funny because I was, in my 30s, late 30s, first time listening to that shit. And, so like I said, it wasn't part of my life. But once people kind of identified the look we were going for and the vibe we were going for was very heavy metal oriented, we definitely rolled into it. And now I know quite a bit about heavy metal. I listen to it at the brewery on nonstop repeat all day, every day.
So going back to cigars, you talked about you now know what you like and what you don't like. So I'm not gonna ask you to bash any certain brand because we don't do that on here. But if you had to give us your top 5 brands that if you walk into a humidor and these cigars are there, you're definitely picking up with these 5.
It's funny. I can give that information to you, which I will in a second. But I will tell you that I'm definitely more like size, style, format driven or tobacco driven than brand. So like, for instance, like I'm very partial to like box press cigars. And so like when I go into a cigar shop, I will focus on looking to see what new box press cigars they have, and the brand is less important to me than that format because I really like that format. I like cigars that have a foot, like either a full-blown foot or a pigtail or something like that, because it amuses me. And so like, again, so when I'm looking, those are more of the factors that I look at. And then once I get it narrowed down, because they might have half a dozen choices like that, I'll be like, okay, what's the wrapper? Go through some more of the technical specs, or like, what's the ring
Box press
gauge?
is my thing too as well, bro.
Oh,
Box press is my thing. 100%.
Box press is where it's at. But anyway, I'm a little bit more technical in terms of how I think about things versus like, hey, it's Portugas. I'm just gonna buy whatever they make. That's my father-in-law's favorite, and I love as well, but they're a little pricey. But in terms of just like cigar brands that I like, we made a beer with Alec Bradley, and I think their entire portfolio is, first class. I like Perdomos quite a bit out of Miami. I think my favorite is EP Carrillo and Perez Carrillo. So you sent me that Allegiance, and I was like, ooh, I've had this before. It's one of my favorites. There's no bad cigar. I like Olivia's. I like Rocky Patel's. I'm not some, but I don't buy too much on brand. If it gets down to it, and I had to choose between this and this, I'd go with a brand that I liked. But it's really more of just like, what cigar am I in the mood for, and how much time am I willing to invest in my smoking experience?
I agree.
And what's available? What's available? It might be what I want, but they don't have it. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'm going with this.
I'm all over the place, but I always come back to box press as some of my favorite cigars, man. The Red Meat Lovers, the Lure Brownie Trout box press is one of my favorites. The Northern cigars, we always give them a shout out, man. We love their cigars, man. They're not even really available yet in the United States, but if we ever get our hands on a bunch of them, I'll send you one. They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. They're super. I think they're in 2 shops in the United States right now, but there's so many good ones out there, man. And obviously Tatawahe, that's one that we always fall back on, man. We're part of the Saints and Sinners. We love Tatawahe.
Pete. Actually, the Spider, man. I love it. Yeah, I think I've put his entire portfolio over the years on our labels.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, so good, man. So good.
So Rob the Cigar Czar says we need to get Mark some cigar clowns and Shafio. They will blow his mind. Hey Rob, if I know you know people. If you can hook us up, we will make sure that he gets them and lets us know what he thinks. So hook us up, buddy.
Yeah, speaking of cigar clowns, they just released a box press, the Pagliacci series. I'm not Pagliacci di Cigari or something. I don't even know. I'm pretty close. All right, cool. It's the new cigar clowns, but anyway, they're both box pressed and they're made for the working man. Basically they're 8 is the price. We're not going to say dollars because that would get us kicked off of here. I just did. But anyway, they're super cheap cigars for what they are. But they smoke like a $15, $20 cigar. They're unbelievable.
Nice.
We reviewed it on the show. It's a very, very good cigar. So
Nice.
But yeah,
I mean, there's so many options today. It's really quite exciting. It's funny. I have to do I wasn't familiar with this cigar, so first thing I did, I went to Half Wheel, typed it. There it is. Read all about it. Read about my.
I was going to ask you about that one, but all of our
I will
sponsors.
say
I was gonna
that
real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that the cigar that you're smoking tonight, the guy who owns the brand, Enrique, he is a really good friend of mine, and when he first came back with this brand is when I started talking with him. It was years ago, and it was actually in the beginning of my cigar journey. So going through his portfolio and the limited exposure number 1, the number 2, the number 3, they're not limited like a lot of brands do, where it's limited. It's going to have 1,000 boxes. You'll never see it again. It's going to have so many boxes this year. Once those boxes are gone this year, it's gone. But next year at the exact same time, another 1,000 boxes are going to come out. So it's limited for the year, but it's not limited for the actual cigar. Nice. The stuff that he's doing, if you like a more full-bodied, go check out. He's got a box press if you like a full-bodied cigar that's got a little strength to it, but it's not going to blow your mind. It's called the Quadrata. And it's called the Quadrata because it means 4 sides, and it's a box press, and it's a good flat box press. It smokes so good. It's got an orange band on it, but look up Matilde cigars.
Okay.
I can give you a link to where they go to. But if you like a good chocolatey, good peppery forward cigar, that's going to be up your alley, made by the same brand. So thinking about the cigar, what do you think about the one you're smoking? I know we've had you talking a lot and you've had to relight it a few times, but what's your thoughts?
Oh, it's delightful. It's delightful. It's funny. I thought, I thought it was going to be a little bit stronger, more on the medium plus side of the equation. It's a very nice smoke. Yeah, right. I'd say medium,
Yep.
Very nice smoke. This is, refresh my memory, it's Dominican Ecuadorian blend. Is that right?
He's probably got the graphic
like 50-50.
As we speak. There it is. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's got all the familiar, those familiar, flavors that you would kind of expect, but very balanced, mild smoke. Well, not mild, but medium, I would say. But
it's
just
medium.
Very enjoyable.
Maybe, but I enjoyed it. Like the flavor notes in this one, I truly enjoyed. I gave it a really good rating this week, and this isn't because they're sponsors of the show, but I feel like I'm remiss if I don't talk about some of our other brands, the Haze Gray and Definition. Man, that Definition, we're gonna send you a big care package, man. We gotta take care of you on some of these cigars. So just some new brands maybe for you to try out, and something maybe you can put on the side of a can someday. But they're
absolutely.
There's a reason they're sponsors, is because we truly believed in them and they believed in us. And because after we smoked their cigars, we're like, holy shit. Like if they want to sponsor us, we're 100% in. Like these guys are great. So, but yeah, Definition is mind blowing. They're some of my favorites because a lot of their cigars are box press, and it led me to them. And Hazy Gray, they're like family at this point, man. They do not have a box press, but they should. But they're all of their cigars, man. The flavor notes on them, they're unique. They're like a lot of nutty notes to it, and they're just great. Their double Maduro, that's the Patriot, is unbelievable. So anyway, but no, man. So I guess kind of tying things back together, cigars and beer. So I guess I had a few more questions beer wise, and then we'll kind of tie it up on the beer thing.
Okay.
So do you get a lot at this point? So I'm all about the unique, interesting, something different. We've talked about that a few times now. Have you ever gotten, this isn't beer, or has this gone too far in the world of beer? Because I mean, honestly, it's something that I love and I strive for, to find stuff like you make. But there's got to be people that come to you and say, "What the fuck is this?" Like, there's got to be.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, before I answer that question, which I'll answer in a second, maybe you could just put a little note. I think we should talk about how beer and cigars pair together and how it changes the experience, because it's very different than the traditional bourbon experience. But to answer your
Let's go.
question,
Let's dig that hole.
oh, okay. To answer your earlier question, the answer is yes. In the last 3 or 4 years, we've really been pushing the boundary of really what is beer and is this beer, and should you invent a new category for this, or is it just really a cocktail that has beer in it, right? But I'd kind of like to talk about the experience of smoking a cigar, because
Absolutely.
most, and again, I don't want to stereotype and just be so predictive, but when people smoke a cigar, they either smoke a cigar and they're enjoying themselves and that's that, or they drink bourbon or whiskey or both. Occasionally they'll have other spirits, rum or some other, dark spirit. Occasionally big hearty red wines, but it's not, beer is not always what you think of when you're like, I'm gonna smoke a cigar by the fireplace and I'm going to have a beer. Like, no, you're not gonna have a beer. You're gonna have freaking bourbon, dude. Like, that's what you're gonna do, because it's the perfect pairing. It's the peanut butter and jelly of smoking cigars, right? But I think beer, because it's has so many flavor profiles and so many different characteristics, I think, I'm not saying it's number one, I'm just saying it is a viable alternative to consume while you're smoking. And I think the cigar smoking will be enhanced by drinking beer. And I think the drinking of the beer is enhanced by smoking the right cigar with the right beer. And I think if people educate themselves as well as experiment, because obviously everyone's different, you got to find out what you like. But I will tell you, I have had cigars that I'm like, not my favorite. And I've had beers that are like, not my favorite. And I've smoked those two things together and they are like, what? This is crazy. I did not like this. I did not like that.
Same.
But you put them together and they're
times.
perfect. And flavors that you didn't notice while you're drinking the beer by itself. And now you have that, that lingering smoke quality in your mouth. And you're just like, wait, is there leather in this beer? Like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. Like, but it's just a chemical reaction that happens that, again, you can do it through just trial and error. You can obviously do some research, but like, you can really elevate the experience of both by pairing them together. And again, stout, barrel-aged stout, obviously, because it has bourbon qualities, but stout is top of the list, but like barley wine and IPAs, particularly like malt-forward IPAs. But even like more like light and delicate beers like saisons, you can really make beautiful with that smoke element. It's really quite something.
I think you'll enjoy Charles's story. He was just throwing a picture up there. He was telling me this weekend that he opened one of your IPAs because he was kind of doing a review for the show. And he's like, I'm not sure about this one, man. And then he lit his cigar and he's like, never mind, this is fucking amazing. Like, he was on a trail. So Charles, I'm not going to steal your story, man, but tell the story, bro.
Yes. I like, that's a great picture, by the way.
It was just, it wasn't doing a review for the show. Just exactly what I said earlier. Last weekend, we're dealing with some crazy rain. So we've already had 7 days of rain, with one day maybe that we had like 6 or 7, 8 or 9 hours of sun, but then it downpoured for another 12 hours. We're in another stretch of where it's, another 7 days of rain. But I'd been outside all day and I came in there and I was going through the refrigerator and it was that look of that can. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I sent Mick a message going, I just sent him the picture and was like, I'm going to try it. because I'm not a beer guy, but I'm going to try it. And my next, I think the post I put on there was, this may be the beer that made me fall in love with beer. Because and I told him, I said, the first drink I had, it was like, oof, that was a little rough. I don't think I'm going to like this one. And then I was watching, I think the Braves games was on, and I realized I had drunk half the can. Cigar was half gone. And I was like, wait, I'm still drinking this. So I actually started paying attention. I was like, oh, wow, it's opened up a little bit. And it was the mix between, it was a Dunbarton Mi Querida. So it was a nice, full cigar. And then it was that full beer. I don't know if I would have liked the beer as much by itself. But like what you said, the chemical reaction between what was happening with the cigar and what was happening with the beer made them both taste amazing. Mm-hmm. So it would be another one of those things where I would take a nice full-bodied cigar and pair it with that same beer again just to see if it tastes just as good.
My guess is it probably would, particularly, if you don't love one or the other, but together they can make perfection.
I agree. I mean, when I drink beer, I drink redneck beer. I mean, Coors Banquet is my beer of choice. Again, redneck beer.
No judgment. No judgment. I drink hams on the weekends when I'm feeling adventurous.
So, Mick has been going through this, every time he goes out of state or something, and him and his wife bring back different beers. Somehow we either meet up in Knoxville or around my house, or we'll meet in Nashville or something. And he's like, hey, I've got some more for you. And it's like, really, you don't need to do this. It's going to sit in the refrigerator. And he'll send me a message. Have you tried any? No, not yet. Next day, have you tried any? Okay, I'll try one. Have you tried it? Not yet. Do it now. Okay, I will. And some of them have been, I've been like, it's okay. Some of them have been like, I kind of like this. So this one was one that it was like, I dig it. With a cigar, I absolutely dig it.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I'm a big fan of it, and I think it just like the food and the cheese and the music, I suppose, you can elevate the experience. But you mentioned that if you're getting some beers from Knoxville, hopefully you're getting some of that Zool beer that's down there.
Zool peanut butter and jelly. I absolutely love it.
Dude, that thing is, I don't know if I'd smoke that with a cigar because it would just overwhelm the flavors. But I mean, you're drinking a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I've literally had one or two that are on par with that, or maybe a touch better in the world, because I now seek out PB&J beers. There's Magnanimous from Tampa Bay that I think slightly edges out Zool. And I also had one recently from Dewey Beach, actually. It wasn't Dewey Beach. It was
Summer Camp.
It was Sorbetto. Have you ever had Sorbetto from Evergrande? They made a PB.
I have not.
PB&J. They have a PB&J marshmallow. They make a smoothie series beer that's called Sorbetto, and Evergrande is from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. But they made PB&J. Yes, so good, funny, man. That was the only two PB&Js that I think slightly edge out Zool, but Zool will always be the OG, man. It's such good beer. But
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, I'm glad you guys got to drink those, because there's some good beers down in your neck of the woods. So I'm glad you got to sample those fun beers.
So I got one more random question before. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that if I decide that I'm going to go down the beer journey, Mick is the furthest west in Tennessee that you can go. Literally, Asheville, North Carolina is 40 minutes away.
Okay.
And if you're in this area, the place that has the most craft breweries is Asheville. And I keep thinking that, go down there and try all 50 of them that happens to be in a 5 square mile radius. But it may be something interesting to do.
Well, again, obviously do your own research, but Asheville is a super fun town, and there's some awesome breweries as well as other fun things to do. But if you're going to go to Asheville, you want to go to Burial Brewing. It's the
absolutely
standard, in my opinion. They make awesome beer. They're awesome people. We did a collab beer with them a while back, and it was freaking awesome. They make awesome beer. So, but we go to Tennessee quite a bit. We go to Pigeon Forge. guess that's not how you pronounce that, but
that's I live right next to it.
we went to I mean, I guess it was Pigeon Forward, but like we went, and again, this was a while ago, but we went to the town, and on one side of the street there were bars, and you could actually have a drink, and then on like the other side of the street was completely dry, and there was nothing. There was no alcohol at all. Am I making this up? Was that in Pigeon Forge?
Or that sounds more like Gatlinburg.
It might have been Gatlinburg, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually out loud.
Yeah, but once you get into Gatlinburg, it seems like all the moonshine distilleries and things like that are on one side of the road, and then on the other side is all the kids' events to do.
Yeah, no, we love it. We love that part. I mean, when we went on our honeymoon in our RV, the intention was to drive across country. We're going to get all the way to California. And so we went down to Southern Virginia, we went to Tennessee, went to Knoxville, went to Nashville, went to Memphis. We saw those cute little ducks that were coming out of the hotel. Peabody, yes. Yes, sir. And we went on to Branson, and that's where we got stuck. We were having such a good time in Branson, Missouri. We stayed there like 2 weeks, and we're just having such a great time. We didn't go any further west.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we get out in that area quite a bit. There's so many fun things to do in Tennessee.
Yeah, if you're ever in Tennessee, man, we definitely, if you're in Memphis area, or I'm speaking for Charles and on the eastern side there, if you're ever in there and want to find a good cigar lounge or see a couple breweries in that area, man, I got you 100%. Well, I only got you in Memphis for about another 2 months. I'm moving back to Pennsylvania, so there's a good chance you're going to see me at your brewery more often. Because my brother-in-law lives down there.
What part of Pennsylvania?
Central Pennsylvania, about an hour north of Harrisburg is where I'll be at. So I mean, I'm probably about 4 hours from you, probably. But we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out.
Right, sounds good.
So one more beer question before we completely leave this and we go into hot box, because I think we're about ready for the hot box questions, or rapid fire questions at the end. But tell us about the ghost number system. I didn't even, until I was doing a touch of research going into this. What is that all about?
So we're on Ghost like almost 1800 as of today. It's a numbering sequence of basically the batches of the beers that we make. And getting back to what we talked about originally, that we were making these beers and kind of they were always evolving. We wanted to have a way of tracking, different changes that we'd made, and that people could check them in on Untappd and know which beer was which, because it's not just, beer X, well, which one? The one we made in 2014 and the one we made in 2026. They're two different beers. So a way of, being able to track what you were doing. It was also kind of a nod to Nine Inch Nails. They do halos on their albums, and I always thought that was a cool concept, because like with us, it was a ghost. So, we made a batch of beer. It's ghost number 666, and it came out, and now it has disappeared, and it'll never reappear, like a ghost.
I love it. I assumed that's probably what it meant, but I wanted to hear it from you, man. That's awesome. So Charles, you want to lead us into some hot box?
All right. So hot box questions is 4 random questions, 2 from Mick, 2 from me. They're random to you, not random to us, but we'd like to ask everybody, are you willing to play hot box questions?
Sure.
All right. So hot box questions is brought to you by Beard Apothecary.
I wish it all sounded like that. But hey, it is what it is. I am a Swiftie by marriage. And that's where it started. 2023, when I had to take her to go see Tay-Tay in Nashville. From there, the Bearded Swiftie was born. And in honor of that, I got to pick my own scent. And here she is, the Bearded Swiftie. It is leather and cedar forward. It's going to be a core line release. It's going to be live today, April 16th. So make sure y'all come and get some. And this is the scent that I put this in my beard, walk into the room, good chance I'm going to take your girl, and I'm probably going to write a hit song about it, and I'm still going to have a better beard than you. So make sure you like, follow, and do all the things you got to do for the Real Smoke family. And we appreciate everything that you guys do for us. Stay metal, my friends. Don't let the beard look weird.
That was awesome.
I will say that Mick did not want to like this scent. He
I hate
wanted
myself for
nothing to
liking
do
it.
with it.
This shit's
He wanted
unbelievable.
nothing to do with it because it was a Swiftie, and I ended up sending it to him anyways, and I think he really likes it.
I'm really upset about it. I actually really, really like that scent. I just don't want to order it because I hate it. But anyway, love the scent. It's good stuff as always. So
I
it does
watched-
not make me
I
a
watched
Swiftie.
number
The,
one.
oh, I'm sorry. I just
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The whole family and I watched, well, we streamed the Taylor Swift 3-hour concert, and it was fucking awesome. I mean, it was like legit, no joke, fucking awesome. Like it's fucking awesome. I mean,
I've heard
thoroughly
that from
enjoyed
so
it.
many people.
My wife and daughter went to the concert, and then when the I guess 6-part docu-series came out, they watched that, and they watched one of the concerts. And I'm not a fan of the music, but I will say she can put on a show. She is a showman, 100%. So props to her for doing that one. I just don't like the music.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right,
Even
so I guess
though
it's
one of
on
our
me.
Christmas songs on here for the Christmas was inspired by Taylor Swift.
It was. I swear you do this shit just to annoy me, but it's fun. I love it. All right, so question number 1. One of these weeks, I'm gonna switch it up and not ask this question, but tonight is not that night. What is your favorite musical band or artist?
In any genre?
Yep, any genre, your call. I actually need post-show promo music, so for Instagram, got to do the gram. But I am interested to hear your answer on this one. So,
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased because we've actually made like collaborative beers with bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there is a band out of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area called Horrendous, who plays like, I don't know, melodic death metal, I suppose, might be the category.
okay.
But they are a band that, we worked with when they were just getting started, and they kind of blew up. And I mean, they're not huge, but, if you're into that genre, it's, you know who they are. But it's a band that we listened to at the brewery quite a bit. We made a beer with them, and it was freaking awesome. And they came and performed at Adroit Theory, and it was,
Oh, that's amazing.
horrendous. They have a side project called The Silver, which is a little bit more listenable if someone is feeling saucy.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
All right, so question number 2. If you could know the absolute truth about one mystery in the world, what would it be?
How did they make those fucking pyramids in Egypt? I'm very curious. They were so precise 5,000 years ago, and you put a razor blade between the blocks and the razor blade gets sharper, like WTF. Like WTF,
Wow.
How did you do that?
Yeah, modern engineering cannot make a building that's as precise as the pyramids. So how did the pyramids get built?
Crazy. That's awesome.
Aliens.
Yeah,
Aliens,
it probably is. If you missed our show 2 weeks ago, it was conspiracy theories. So that's a good one too. If you ever get bored, Mark, on a Saturday night. But anyway, little plug there. But it's a good episode. All right. So my second question is, if you could have a cigar and or a beer with any person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Wow. That's that's a good question. Maybe. Damn. That's
Nothing like
hard.
being on the spot.
For some strange reason, Ulysses S. Grant comes to mind. I don't know why. I'm not even like some big Civil War guy. My father was, but he looked like a guy that could suck down some bourbon and smoke a good cigar and tell me some great stories in the process.
Well, that's what he was known for. He was known as the drunk general.
Yeah.
And he loved his cigars.
Charles is I'm a history buff. Charles makes me look like I don't know anything. So yes, that is true, and that's a great fucking answer, man. Well done.
I would just want to get him drunk and just set him off on a topic and just sit back and laugh.
To be honest with you, he'd probably show up drunk, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no joke. All right, so question number 2, or I guess question number 4. If you could relive one day in your life exactly how it was, what day would you choose?
Wow. I'm not that nostalgic of a person. I'm always looking to the future. You know what I mean? I'm one of those type of people. Oh, that's a good question. I will tell you, when I got married to my wife, and I'm just saying that because my wife might watch this podcast later. Our wedding was a 12-hour festive party that started at 11 a.m. and went to almost midnight. And I'll be honest with you, there's some parts of it that are a little fuzzy that I really wouldn't mind reliving, so I can remember exactly what happened, like when Uncle Bill almost took down the whole tent. But yeah, I mean, that would be a perfect day that I would definitely enjoy reliving.
Nice.
Love it.
So the last question is going to come from, it's going to be a segment we call Ask It Forward. And typically it is the guest that we had on the previous week leaves a question for the guest that we have on the next week. So sometime this week, Mick will reach out to you and ask you to send a video in for our guest for next week. And again, he'll let you know who it is and all that. But this week, our guest from last week did not get back to us in time. So we reached out to one of our Patreon members. And once again, guys, if you're looking at joining Patreon, this is when you get a chance to actually shine, because we come to you first and ask if you want to ask a question. So our Ask It Forward question is brought to you by Southpaw Stogies.
Hey everyone, I'm Wes Chandler with Southpaw Stogies. If you're looking for a new cigar lounge, especially in the Lebanon, Tennessee area, boy, have I got the place for you. Come on, let me invite you inside. Here at Southpaw Stogies, we're not just a cigar lounge, we're a community. Whether you're a cigar enthusiast or new to smoking, we want to make sure that you feel right at home. Not only do we do cigars, but if you're looking for a great drink, we've got a curated selection of alcohol, craft beer, and oh yes, we do coffee as well. And most importantly, we want to make sure that you feel right at home at Southpaw Stogies, and we hope we see you soon.
It's Mark here, the Smoking Silence and Real Smoke Podcast Patreon. Question out there for Adroit Brewery, and it's, if you could collaborate with somebody in a brew, what would you want to make and who would you want to make it with? Alright guys, stay awesome.
That's a great question.
Real quick, that is our brother from New Zealand who's been with us since day one. So that question comes to you from New Zealand, from a Patreon.
Nice.
Yeah, amazing.
I've never been to New Zealand. It's definitely on my bucket list of places to go to.
We
made a beer with a brewery in New Zealand, and we've made a couple of beers with like indigenous New Zealand products, which getting into the country was a bit of a challenge, but you know, we did it, and yeah, definitely like to go to that place at some point in my life. But yeah, I mean, we make a lot of, I mean, we don't make a lot, we're not as much as everybody else does, but you know, one of the breweries that I always look at of someone like, wow, they're really doing really cool, exciting things, is a brewery from Sweden called Omnipolo. They're very, you know, famous on the international front, and they make crazy wackadoodle things. But what I would love to do with them would be to make like this fruited sour that, you know, kind of tasted like a melted peach milkshake, but I would like to actually serve it like a milkshake, where like it actually swirled and came out of the glass the way soft serve ice cream, or ideally like custard, is served, where like, you know, when you get a cone of it, it comes up and it forms that swirl tip. You know what I'm talking about?
Hell yeah.
I would love it where, like, when you got the pint of beer, the beer's coming out of the glass, like swirling up like 5 or 6 inches above the rim of the glass. And you have to lick it and get down to the actual beer. I think those would be the cats that would be down with doing something like that.
I've been following Omnipolo for a long time because of Tired Hands. Tired Hands is one of my first loves in craft beer. And I would drive to Philly and stand in line when they were doing bottle releases and can releases before anybody knew who the fuck Tired Hands was. And their milkshake IPAs still to this day are some of my favorite milkshake IPAs because they do it with Omnipolo. So amazing, man. Yeah, that's a great answer. And Mark, great question, man. We greatly appreciate you. That was last minute because things kind of fell through from last week, but yeah, amazing question, great answer, man.
Cool.
Well, let's go ahead and put a little bow on this one. Is there anything that we haven't asked you that you were either hoping that we would ask or that you would like people to know?
Well, obviously, I want people to know that Adroit Theory is here for them, and we have a good social media offering. So, if they like what this conversation was about, please follow us on social media because that's how you'll stay in the loop. But other than that, the only message I would like to depart is that, cigars, I think, obviously are a little niche in the grand general populist sense of the word, but they don't need to be. They can be so approachable. And obviously beer is somewhat ubiquitous, but again, just driving home that point that the right beer with the right cigar in the right setting is absolute perfection.
I got to know, speaking of social media, I mean, I know we're kind of past the question and answer part, but who the fuck is the wizard, man? I love this guy. He's your greatest. He just pours beer every day, and he's great, man. And then we'll let you go, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny. If you go and you look at our social media, there's, as a percentage, very few people. And even finding pictures of me on social media is actually pretty difficult because I wanted to
tell me about it.
I did. I mean, I know a lot of people build, like you think about the guy from Sam Adams, I'm Jim Koch. This is Sam Adams beer. You should drink it. There's tons of brands that like the guy who drummed it up is the guy who's out there, selling it. When I built Adroit Theory, I wanted to make it so there was zero me specifically, and then zero humans. Like it's art forward, it's concept forward, it's brand forward. Like you buy into that, you don't buy into me, Mark, like whatever. Like it's a thing that exists unrelated to me. So I try to avoid a lot of promotion where I'm in it. That said, I realize that people like to have something to look at, and so I have some employees that are characters. They're characters. They're characters unrelated to me encouraging them to be characters. They're just characters because that's who they are. So we decided to come up with personas of the different people that work at the brewery doing ridiculous things. And the wizard is this guy named Chris who's worked with me for a long time, but he agreed to get dressed up in a wizard outfit and pour beers, and he's the wizard. What else do you need to know?
It's phenomenal, man. I love it. And this is my last story for your brewery. I thank you for helping me with this. So me and the wife are notoriously big tippers when we go and we get great service. And for whatever reason, we had this trip ahead of us. We didn't sleep much. We were traveling, and I reached out to you because somehow we paid cash for everything we bought at your brewery, and I forgot to fucking tip somehow. And I didn't realize it till 5 hours later. And I blew up your Instagram like, dude, I am such an asshole. I need your help. How do I tip this guy? Because he was amazing. He like rolled out the red carpet when I came in. He's like, I got these beers for you. I got these beers for you and Charles. Thank you and whatever. And I was so obsessed with writing you a note and getting it in the cigar pack and getting it to you and doing this transaction and whatever that my mind just slipped, man. And thank you for setting me up. I hope he told you I got his Venmo and I hooked him up pretty big. I mean, I felt so much better after that whole transaction went down because I was losing my mind. But
I appreciate you reaching out. He definitely appreciated it because I told him that I talked to you, And he's like,
I was losing
thank
my
you so
mind.
much. It worked out great. So anyway.
Yeah, no, it was that was weighing on me so heavy because that is not me whatsoever. But man,
Yeah.
I want to say thank you though from the bottom of my heart, man. You were
All right, well, thank
unbelievable
you.
tonight, and
Thank you so
Charles,
much.
I'll let you finish it off, man. But just thanks for taking your time and amazing just actually having you on, man. We love your brewery, love the beer. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. I'm a big fan, man. So I appreciate it, Charles.
All right.
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Just appreciate you being on here. Absolutely loving what I'm trying so far. Stay in contact with us. We would like to, keep tabs on what you're doing, because the kind of stuff that you seem to be enjoying is the same kind of stuff that we enjoy. So have a great night. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening and get in bed. Thanks for jumping on here with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you at the next one.
Brother. Thank
All right,
you.
peace out.
See ya.
Thanks. So just like that, episode 79 is in the books, and it was another beer episode.
Hell yeah. I saw Frank was
I know
on,
you're
man.
Excited.
I am excited. And then, dude, your face when you tried that stout the first time made my night. I'm good after that. It was unbelievable.
Just saying, if you would have saw Jennifer's face when she tried it,
I was watching that happen, because when you were sitting there going, I knew exactly what you were doing. I knew you texted Jennifer to come outside to try it. Phenomenal. So
yeah,
good,
and my whole idea was I was going to drink a little bit and, not try to get too much into it, because, just coming back, just getting home from work, started off with some whiskey, as I always do, to try to settle some nerves, because this is not usually what I like to do. And then thinking, okay, I'm just going to have a little bit of beer, and then finding out it's like freaking ice cream beer. So it's like, how are those two products going to work together? Next thing I know, that I keep going back to the refrigerator. So I think I got about that much of that can left.
So good.
So while I do all the uploads and stuff tonight, I will end up killing the rest of that. So yeah, it was good.
That could have been another Pete Johnson episode. I have so many more things I want to ask, and I know I even kept going after we fucking did Hotbox, but like I couldn't. I have so much I have to ask him, and I didn't ask some of the questions. I'll ask him offline. Maybe he'll hook me up. But the way they hide alcohol in beers, I've never had a quadruple that I liked. This thing's freaking at 12% IPA. I've never had anything over 10 that I really truly enjoyed. This thing is unbelievable. It was drinking like a 5 or 6% beer. It was just so smooth. It would mess, like if you poured that in a glass and I didn't know the percentage, I'd drink 3 or 4 of them in a heartbeat. And I would be.
What I was thinking about this one. What I was thinking about this one is it is so just like milkshake forward that you could funnel the can, never
Easily
think that you were drinking anything but a milkshake, but then try to walk and be like, no,
absolutely,
that's not happening.
It is so good.
A couple things really quickly. A couple people on here just saying, I love the good name. So let's figure this one out.
That's Money Matt.
Money Matt. Oh, okay. Money Matt. Thanks, Mark Osborne, for the great content. Great interview, and guest. 100%. Let's see, Mark. I'm not a beer guy, but fisted your website, and I have. You did what to his website? Wrong podcast. We already talked about this. The wrong podcast. You cannot do that on here. Just saying.
I was reading and you were I'm like, no, wait, what?
Nope. I think he mean visited, but he just fisted something. So,
Doc, we love you. That's another guy I work with, man. Great human.
Smoking Sicilian says, damn. All right. Great show. Do enjoy craft beer. Thank you.
I was going to say real quick.
Into his next thing, I'm just going to give everybody hashtags, and I'm going to let you roll with it. While we do finish up the rest of the stuff that we have to do tonight, hashtags tonight is Real Smoke for anybody who has not won this month, and we're closing out the month. So next week we will start all over with a brand new month. But if you haven't won anything from us this month, type in hashtag Real Smoke. Number 2, if you are a first-time person, type in hashtag Real Smoke New. Okay, so that means you've never won anything from us, period. Real Smoke New. Not won anything from us this month, just hashtag Real Smoke. That could be whether it's Beard Apothecary or whatever. Okay. So, anyways, go ahead, Mick.
I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off, man. I'm too excited.
No,
It's
you're
beer.
fine.
It's beer night. I was just going to say real quick that I know Frank was on earlier. And Frank, we still have some Adroit Theory set aside for the beer share in June. I'm just not quite sure when that is. But hopefully we can share a little bit of that with you. But Frank's our president of the Memphis Beer Drinkers and loves some great beer. So Frank was on the show, actually. Memphis Beer Drinkers. We all know that. But anyway, great beer. We have some set aside. We're excited about it.
Rob Cigarzar says, gotta wonder what you normally talk about when your spell check changes what you type to fisted. Not saying that he's not saying he's wrong, but Doc does say funny. Visited. Right.
Spell check. Fuck you, Doc, man. I'm sorry. That's funny. That's funny. That's good.
That
stuff.
Was great. Love that one. We do have cigar review. We do have prizes to give away, and we do have Meanwhile in Memphis. But before we do Meanwhile in Memphis, and people are on here, so do you want to tell everybody why Meanwhile in Memphis has you so sad?
Yeah, I'm sad. Meanwhile in Memphis does not have a sponsor anymore. Hayes Gray moved up and took a premium spot, and I mean they're all premium spots, but Meanwhile in Memphis is close to my heart. It's something I've been doing now for 79 episodes, and yeah, it no longer has a sponsor since they moved up. We dropped a couple last week, and we gained one, which we're extremely excited about. But Meanwhile in Memphis needs a sponsor. It could be you. It could be you. I mean, if you have a vacuum cleaner business that wants to sponsor Meanwhile in Memphis, or a car wash business, or a 28-inch wheel cleaning business in Memphis, I mean, it's something that it could definitely sponsor Meanwhile in Memphis. I mean, we'll get it out there every week. You can do a new video ad every week. I'd be excited about it. So for now, Meanwhile in Memphis is brought to you by nobody, and I'm sad. So
Meanwhile in Memphis is brought to you by Heartbreak and Grieving.
I'm just drinking it away with this 14% stout that tastes like I'm drinking water. So cheers to Adroit Theory.
Nice. All right. So the next thing that we need to get into is the cigar review that we did do. So the cigar, once again, we did the limited exposure number 3 from Matilde Cigars. All the information's on there that you can see: Ecuadorian wrapper, Dominican binder, Dominican Nicaraguan fillers. All the other information's on there that you can see. So let's go ahead and get into that one. The cigar review is brought to you by Cigar Army. And instead of playing their thing, we'll go ahead and do what we've done the last few weeks until their event is over. Cigar Army is proud to present the EMT fundraiser for the Premium Non-Career Foundation, presented by the Cigar Army. It is Saturday, June 13th, hosted at Brothers of the Leaf Lounge in New Windsor, New York. Ticket prices are $70. That gets you one cigar, beer, high noon, soda, and water. Food by Chef Steph. Cash bar available, and raffles will be sold for the event only prizes. So guys, you can scan that QR code for more information. If you're in that area, go support these guys. Cannot thank them enough for supporting us, because they do a lot for us. So guys, go check them out. And once again, if you can't be there and you want to give money, you can go buy their event t-shirt that we did. That t-shirt, go to realsmokepod.com and go to our merch store on there, and you will be able to see this shirt right here. It is the Real Smoke Podcast Cigar Army PNNF t-shirt. 100% of all profit goes to Cigar Army to give to the foundation, and whatever you guys buy, we are going to match it. So if you guys sell $500, we're going to match $500 of it. So you've got a couple of weeks left. Go check that out.
Yeah. I was going to say, you literally have a week and a half till I need to send the money to Frank. So if you want to buy a shirt, get it done so we can match that donation and send it to Frank. And if you missed our live, Frank did a great job. Hayes Gray was on there talking about some of the special stuff they were doing for the event. I was bored at the airport and jumped on and took over for about 20 minutes, but it was a fun live. Frank did an amazing job. Not so much for Coop and Pugs, No, I'm just kidding. But they jumped on, but they had some technical difficulties. Usually that's my side of things. But no, we appreciate everything that those guys do to give back to the community and help us out with the show. We try to give back to them just as much as they give to us. So it's good stuff, man. And we're excited about it. Buy a shirt, help them out, donate a few bucks, whatever you can.
Well, like Mick said, that shirt's on there, and he said earlier we have about 50 different designs on there, and we're maxed out at the shirts that we can have on there, so we're going to start taking some of the shirts down, but we do have the shirts that you see on here. We have our Real Smoke 80s version, our Real Smoke Waffle House version. I'm wearing the Fueled by Caffeine, Nicotine, and Sarcasm tonight. We got our Ed Skeen. We have our Real Smoke Cigar Army PNF one on there. And then we have all of our Built for Those Who Serve shirts that are up there. So any of the shirts that you guys buy, do us a favor. Once you buy them, take pictures of them, post it on Instagram, tag us. And we do have a on here that's called In the Wild. We will post pictures of you wearing it up there as a thank you. So go check that out. Go do that for us. And by the way, here is that shirt Mick got for me. It is the Fueled by Caffeine, Nicotine, and Sarcasm. If you know me, that's 100% me. So we do have a cigar review to do. Are you ready for the cigar review, sir?
I am. So as we said like 3 times tonight we smoked the Matilde Limited Exposure 3. From the body, I got light leather and hay. Aroma from the foot, I got natural tobacco sweetness and like cereal grains that reminded me of that cereal notes. Taste from the cold draw, woody, kind of sawdusty, touches of cocoa and light earth. The first third notes, I got nuttiness, primarily almond, creamy smoke, black pepper, leathery notes, baking spices. Got some cinnamon in there for sure, but it was more of a mix of baking spices. Retro was black pepper and light floral notes. Second, third notes, I got charred oak. It was still definitely nutty. It was a Devon smoke. It was nutty and creamy. The creamy smoke continued, black pepper, and there was these weird little touches of lemon, like citrusy notes. Retro was black pepper and citrus notes. Final third notes, I got a natural sweetness. Earthy mineral notes kind of picked up a little bit. It wasn't prominent in the first and second third, but definitely in the final third, the minerally notes picked up. It was still creamy smoke, charred oak, and it was kind of like a campfire, just like burnt wood. Cashew notes, the nuttiness kind of morphed into cashew notes because it was definitely a deeper, richer flavor in that final third. Retro, black pepper, earth, and touches of vanilla. It was balanced throughout. I would say it was medium plus at best. The ash stacked dimes the whole way. It was a beautiful light gray, and it held almost thirds. It was 1.5 inches, 2 inches at a time that the ash held. Truly enjoyed this smoke the whole way through the flavors. It wasn't quite as strong as I like typically, but the flavor notes held up the whole way through, and the transitions were solid. Pre-light experience, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, 14 out of 15. Construction characteristics, 28 out of 30. And smoke production and final thoughts, I gave it a 32 out of 35. I gave it a total of 92.
Dang, good score.
Great cigar.
All right. So on my end, aroma off the body, barnyard, dark fruit, honey, aroma off the foot, raisin, sweet tobacco, taste off the cold draw, honey, woody and nutty. Again, it's a Devon cigar. On the light, oak, slightly nutty, and baking spice into the first third note. Up front are woody, nutty, followed by a citrus and fruity sweetness in the background. The retro is earth, hay, followed by cinnamon and floral sweetness. Straw is fantastic, giving you thick, chewy smoke. The finish is medium and leaves you with a woody, sweet floral note. The burn is razor sharp, and the ash is thick and holds through the third. Strength is about a medium plus. Into the second, notes up front are earth, black pepper, and wood. The retro is earth, black pepper, citrus, and cedar. The draw is still great. Smoke is thick and full. Finish is medium long, leaving a creamy, sweet note. And black pepper on the palate. The burn is sharp and holds, but messy. Strength is a medium plus. In the final third, notes up front are earth, hay, and wood. The retro is earth, white pepper, baking spice, and floral sweetness. The draw is great. Smoke is thick, and finish is woody and black pepper with a slight sweet note. The burn is sharp. Ash holds to the finish. Strength is about a medium plus. Pre-light experience, 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, a 14 out of 15. Construction and characteristics, a 30 out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts, a 30 out of 35. I give the limited exposure number 3 from Matilde a 91. So if you take this cigar and you take Mick's 92 and my 91 and you do an average, it gives you a 91 and a half. We round up on that one. So it leaves you with a 92.
It's as close as we've been in a while, brother, on a review, man. Our notes were almost like we were looking over each other's shoulder. It was like cheating in 5th grade.
They were
class,
extremely
man.
Close.
It was that was awesome.
Close this time.
Great cigar. Consistency was amazing on both cigars I smoked. Amazing.
I will say that there is very few things. I mean, if you look around here, there's boxes behind me. There's boxes sitting over here. There is all kinds of boxes around here that are Matilde related. And Enrique has put out some amazing cigars, and he slept on. I mean, there's a lot of shops that don't take the time to educate people about the cigars, and people, they'll get them in and people don't buy them because nobody talks about them.
Yeah.
But they make some amazing stuff. So guys, check them out. Let's see. Anything in the chats really quickly before we move on? New graphics looking great, says Smoking Sompsis. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Our next thing that we need to do is our prizes. So tonight's prizes, let's go ahead and talk about that one. We do have a new sponsor for tonight's prizes. It is going to be Definition Cigars. They are the newest one that's come on lately. He hasn't got his ad spot in, so I get to do his ad spot for him. So hopefully he likes it. And if he doesn't, tough. Should have got it in. Just saying. Love you. So tonight's prizes are brought to you by Definition Cigars. One of the things I love about Definition Cigars is that it's more than just another cigar company. Jamon has created a brand that stands for something. Great cigars are easy to find, but great cigars with a purpose behind them are a little more rare. One of my personal favorites in the lineup is the Equalizer BP Perfecto. It is one of those cigars that I keep reaching for because it delivers exactly what I want every time. Great construction, excellent flavor, and a smoking experience that keeps me engaged from start to finish. Every Definition cigar I've smoked has delivered quality, consistency, and flavor, but the message behind the brand that is what keeps me coming back. It's about defining who you are and becoming the best version of yourself. That's something I can get behind. Check out Definition Cigars at definitionscigars.com and see what defines you.
Amazing job, man. I know Jamon's been super busy with cutting lights, and he's actually it's kind of a bummer because he's like, usually I would be where I'm at in Fort Worth, Texas. I got 14% beers kicking my ass right now. Where I'm at right now is usually 45 minutes from where I think he lives and typically his home lounge. And he is in Nebraska this weekend on a cut and light. So kind of a bummer, but I want to meet Jamon in person, man. He's not just a sponsor. I love all of his cigars, man. I'm not because he's a sponsor. I've never had a bad Definition cigar. And I know you told the story last week. Go back and watch that episode for you guys that haven't. He's a real deal. 100% through. He's a real deal. 100%. So great people.
So the first prize that we're going to give away is for the YouTube contest that we ran last week into this week. And that contest was, all you had to do was go on to the shorts that we did for Jamon's episode and just comment on there. We had anywhere, they're still coming in. We had anywhere from 60 to 70 comments on there. And we're going to do one more for this episode. But the caveat on that one is, instead of it just being whatever comments, we're not going to do the prize unless it gets at least 100 comments. So again, if we already did 60 to 70, 6, 7, just saying, if we did 60 to 70, we should be able to get to 100, no problem. So what I'm going to do is this. I have everything pulled up right here. These are all the comments. And if you can see his pictures on there, these are all the comments that you guys did. I haven't responded back to any of them yet. I will probably starting tomorrow. But what I'm going to have Mick do is go ahead, and I'll let him fill in the space while I start counting these. Go ahead, give me a number, 1 to 100.
So I don't know why but I'm going to go. So this isn't even like a lucky number or anything, but it's the first number that popped in my head when you said something between 1 and 70 or whatever. So I'm going to go 37.
37. So while I count these out, I'll go ahead and let you talk about whatever you want to talk about. Talk about the evening, talk about what's coming up. Talk about what's coming up. That would be a pretty cool idea. Or give everybody the hashtags for the night, anything like that one. Let me go ahead and do this.
Man, he's going to put me on the spot here. So what is coming up is next week. We spoke about earlier with the men's mental health. It's that time of year again. I mean, it's always that time of year. Check on your buddy, check on your brother, reach out. We all go through shit. Men don't like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it. Just how I'm built. But I think a lot of us are. But tune into next week's episode. Share it with a buddy. Share our posts. And it's not about getting views for us. It's not about getting anything for this episode. Is truly about hopefully saving someone's life or getting someone out of a darker spot. So help us share this next week. Get this out there. We'll go from there. Hashtags. Hashtag Real Smoke is if you have not won in May from us. Hashtag Real Smoke New is if you have never ever won anything from us. So there's a few people on here I think that fall under both categories. So let's get some new names in here. We love sharing the wealth on this show and getting things out. Cigar Vault does an amazing job. They have the best selection in the game. For those gift cards every week, they're just amazing. So check them out, regardless if you win or not tonight. Check out cigarvault.com. I think you're muted now. I think you muted yourself before you started talking. That was crazy.
That's crazy. So I'm going to ask you, who do you think won?
Get your hands up.
Nope.
Wow, that's who wins every time.
Oh, there's one more.
Shit, I am forgetting one that wins every time. Angel.
Wait, where is it?
I can't see.
There it is.
Gabe.
Hologram. His comment was definitely some hidden gems. He was watching one of the videos with Jaman on there. So Hologram, Gabe, do me a favor, send Mick your mailing name and address. I don't need anything else. Just send Mick your mailing name and address. I will get your prize pack of a hat, cigars, cutter, lighter, and maybe a sticker or two in the mail next week, probably Monday, Tuesday of next week.
Congratulations. Gabe's always involved. I mean, we can't complain about the people that win all the time because they're constantly 100%. Involved with what we do. So I love it, man. Congrats, Gabe.
All right. So the rest of the prizes, we do have two $25 gift cards for Cigar Vault. Again, the two hashtags is hashtag Real Smoke if you haven't won anything in the month of May, or hashtag Real Smoke New if you've never won anything from us before. Mick, I guess you need to go ahead and give the rules.
Yeah, so we're going to spin the wheel. I'm going to pick random numbers for both drawings because we're trying to beat the algorithm, and I'm still not sure it's working. But we're going to try. If your name is not Get Your Ends Up, Jerry Allman, I'm sorry, I don't know what your YouTube name is, but that's your real name because you sent it to me for the prize. Speak Easy Angel, or the Smoking Psalmist, our brother Mark. If your name is not one of those four people, you are eligible for tonight. And if you've never won, obviously you're eligible. So if you don't see your name, StreamYard has assured us your name is in the drawing. It's just how the wheel spins. So hopefully somebody new wins tonight, and we can share the love even more and spin the big, beautiful wheel. I guess we're going to go with, man, I don't know. I hate to go too far. What you go ahead.
We are going with hashtag Real Smoke. Real Smoke. As you can see on there is episode 79. Exclude winners while doing multiple drawings has been taken off. So Mick, I need another number, sir.
Let's back it up. Let's go a little crazy tonight. Let's go 4 and 2. I'm feeling it. Let's switch it up a little.
2. So let's go ahead. We got 12 entries. Wow, it was 9. 12 jumped in. So this is number 1. This person does not win.
Hologram could win twice tonight. I saw him in there.
Yes. Money Matt
Money Matt
does not win. Draw number 2. Names have been known to come up multiple times, so Money Matt may jump on here again. Doc's on here, number 3. By the way, you do have to be live to win. Wig Whack Workshop, and here is going to be your winner.
So the first three were all new people, and this
I
one
hope
won't
they
be.
typed in hashtag Real Smoke New. Wig Whack Workshop.
That's a new
Wig
one.
Whack. Wiggity wiggity whack. You are
Tell
on
me
here.
you're here.
Wiggity wiggity whack. Are you in here? Wiggity wiggity says he is
Oh,
here, or she is here.
look at
We don't know
that.
if it's a he or a she. Wig Whack, where are you from? Where are you watching from? Let us know. By the way,
Please hit
you
that
do have to
subscribe button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Go find Mick on Instagram at Real Smoke Pod. Send him your mailing name, address, phone number, and email address, and he will get all that information out to Cigar Vault, and then they will send you your information. He is from Central Ohio.
Don't forget the blood sample from your firstborn child. Just if you
Yes.
can. I'm just like, if you can throw it in there. So cool. Congratulations, man. Or
Wiggity Whack says, I'm subscribed for a while now. Well, thank you.
Oh shit.
Appreciate it.
I love it.
Love
Thanks,
it.
man.
Make sure you jump in on the comments on this week's episode starting tomorrow. All right, so Mick called number 2 for the win for this next one. So make sure, let's back out of this. Yep, we got to back out of this. It is going to be for episode 79. The hashtag is hashtag Real Smoke New. That means you have never won anything from us before. By the way, Wiggity Whack, if you get drawn on this one, you just won, so it doesn't count for you. Just saying. There are 5 on here, so let's see. With 2 rolls to make. Roll number 1.
It's going to be a new winner. I love this. This is great.
I love it. I love new winners.
Yeah, me too. So we really only
And
have 4.
Wiggity Whack
Wow.
is not the winner. So here we go. Number 2, this should be your winner. Who do we got? Ooh,
Evelyn.
a brand new one. Evelyn Douglas, 2322. Are you on here, young lady? Please let us know. You got about 30 mixed seconds to say, hey, I am here. Send me my gift card. She says,
Yeah.
I'm here. Where are you watching from, lady?
Yeah.
We would love to know. Make sure that you go find us on Instagram. Go look up Real Smoke Pod. Send Mick your mailing name, address, phone number, and email address. That way he can get that over to our vault and they can send you your gift card. She says again, she is here. Where are you from, girl?
Oh, yeah. I was going to make the urine sample joke, but that makes it weird. So I'm just
She's
not going
from
to do
Hartford, Connecticut.
That's going to be the last time she watches this, and I need to stop. So, but if you want to send it, I mean, Charles will take it. I'll send it to him. It'll be fine.
She says she is watching from Hartford.
I love it. Connecticut, up there by Pop Chris. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Money Man says, Mick and Charles, great content. I'm loving the show, brother. We love that you're on here, and we appreciate you loving the show. Love it.
We're a fan of you too, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Wiggity Whack says, I follow on Instagram also. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
You should be able to find us to send us your information.
We are so close to 8,000 on Instagram. It's in a year and a half. I know that's not like record-breaking numbers, but man, I'm pretty proud of that. We're getting there. We're getting close to 8,000 on Instagram. So, and I want 10,000. I know we'll do. And actually, YouTube kind of jumped up over the last week or so, man. So I'm still holding out faith that we're gonna hit those numbers by the end of the year. So anybody you know, tell them to watch us. I mean, we're not trying to get ridiculous, but just tell them to join in. It's not just a cigar thing. Like I think we're fun. We're kind of fun to hang out with on a Thursday night. So
I think we do something that there's a lot of other podcasts that do, but I think that we step outside the box more than others do, and we're willing to go places and talk things. I mean, our first question isn't, how did you get into cigars?
Yeah. cigar, a wrapper, binder, filler. Yeah. Stop it.
I mean, how many places have we got? How many cigar brand owners have we not even talked about what cigars they have on the market?
Exactly.
It's literally we have conversations about how they grew up and their parents and their kids. So
And what I
think we do something a little different.
What I love that we do is everything seems to come full circle. I know just tonight, I know when he talked about military and moving around, you thought about your family. I know when we talked about beer, it brought me back to me brewing and the beer journey that I had, him and his wife going out on the beer journey. You trying different beers, that I've given you or we've shared, at breweries. Cigar journey, how he got into a cigar journey was very similar to mine. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that tie us together. And I think that human connection is what we've always tried to make as a podcast. And I'm not saying we're the best out there, but we've done some great shit, man. And I'm proud of where we're at with it. I mean, it's something we do every week, and people that don't love it, I guess, don't love it. But I feel like we're building that community every week, like brick by brick. And it's come a long way, man.
There's so many podcasts that's out there that loves to sit in their wheelhouse, and it's the same people all the time. I love the fact, and you're going to see over the next few weeks, there's going to be a few weeks in a row that there's no cigar people. Why? Because, cigar people love other things as well. They like beer. They like whiskey. They like entertainers. They like comedians. They like people who've got a story. They need to talk about mental health. That's kind of what we like to do too. So, Wiggity Wack says, look for a shout out video on his channel. Go check out Wiggity Wack's channel. I will, as soon as we get done with here, I'll go subscribe to that one as well.
Me too.
Let's see. Get Your Hands Up says that one. Burn Line Brotherhood podcast says, I'm a fan. We a fan.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Some people just have a good vibe and spirit, and you guys have it. It makes you a pleasure to watch. We appreciate that, Money Mac. 100%. We try to keep it real. We try to be who we are. If you meet us at a lounge, we're definitely these people. I'm not as talkative as I am here. You will ask anybody. I'm the guy who sits in the corner and doesn't say a word. Mick's the one that is the talkative person.
I'm loud as fuck. Yeah, I don't stop. So here we are.
Burn Line Brotherhood podcast says, not just a cigar podcast, just a great podcast. Appreciate it. All righty. So we do Meanwhile in Memphis to get to. That's our last one.
Meanwhile
in Memphis is, it's not Memphis.
Wow, you guys are gonna get a change of view here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch this.
Are we not in Memphis?
We're not in Memphis. Where? I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
That's not in Tennessee?
It's not, unfortunately. No, I mean maybe fortunately. I don't know. I'm
trying to figure out how to work.
Find a way to plug my. No, I got to plug my phone in while I'm on this podcast because I'm going to lose all you guys in the middle of Meanwhile and wherever I am. So there you go. You get a new view of my hotel room. So Meanwhile and where am I? I don't know. You got something for that? I don't know.
Oversized truck in the HEB lane, gas station cowboy in a hurricane, armadillo trotting through the parking lot, buggies at dawn and it don't no stop. Meanwhile in Texas, hold my drink, watch me. Meanwhile in Texas, you can't make this up, can you? Meanwhile in Texas, somebody wrestled a gator at a Buc-ee's again. Meanwhile in Texas, only on the Real Smoke podcast.
Man, that had some Hank Williams Jr. vibes to it. I like it.
There you go.
I really like it. That's awesome.
Meanwhile in Texas.
Meanwhile in Texas. All right, let me get into this. So
sponsored by.
Fuck, I don't have a sponsor. So this could be you. If you own a business, if you own a car wash or a vacuum cleaner or a painting business. I mean, we talked painting business earlier. I will take it for Meanwhile in Memphis because not having a sponsor really hurts my feelings. So this is kind of my thing. I mean, it's going to be Meanwhile in Pennsylvania soon. Who knows where I'm going to end up? I mean, I'm all over. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? But you could sponsor this shit. So anyway. All right. So Meanwhile in Texas, Fort Worth. You're going to love this one. Alleged kidnapping victim shares story of wild ride from Fort Worth to Dallas. A kidnapped man in the back of a van was taken on a wild ride. We're hearing from the Fort Worth man who says it happened to him. He exclusively shared his story with NBC5's Meredith Yeoman for the first time. It sounds like a scene out of a movie more than real life. A kidnapped man in the back of a van was taken on a wild ride. A Fort Worth man said it happened to him. I'm still shaken up, says Eric Santiago. Santiago told News 5 he was at a Fort Worth motel with Takim Padin, a man he was dating.
Eh?
But that Padin would not let him leave for work. We could go so many places with this. It started off with an argument, and from an argument to a fist fight, to then not knowing if I'm going to get out of the hotel room alive, said Santiago. The fight, he claimed, spilled into the parking lot. While on the phone with 911, Santiago jumped in the back of his cargo van to try to escape the situation. As soon as I got in the van took off. He hopped in. He must have had the keys and started driving, said Santiago. Please help me. This guy is going crazy. He's driving crazy, Santiago said on the recording. He said in desperation, set in when his phone...
I believe that was an actual quote of what he said in desperation.
For the first time, I wasn't ready for that clip. All right, so I took my polo shirt off and started waving it out the back window because people started waving at me because he thought I was waving out the back window. They're just thinking I'm saying hi, but I took off my shirt. That's how desperate I got, said Santiago. Several drivers called 911. One of them said, the guy in the back just opened the back door. Why? I was in a groove there. Jesus mighty. All right, so the guy in the back just opened up the back door. I think he might be trying to get out of the van, said one driver on a 911 call. It ended up in southern Dallas when Santiago said the other drivers who called 911 made the van swerve off an exit ramp. Santiago said he used this opportunity to rush through the cargo door, which separated the back of the van from the front, and punched Padin. He said it caused Padin to crash the van. Padin was placed in handcuffs, Santiago said, by a law enforcement officer who happened to be one of the drivers who called 911. Honestly, I was relieved, but to this day, I'm still in shock. Like yesterday, I almost had a panic attack about the time I got kidnapped. Santiago said he's sharing his story to raise awareness about potential dangers of dating someone you meet online and to serve as an eye-opener about domestic violence. Never think it won't happen to you, because in a million years, I didn't think I would be held against my will in the back of a van, shirtless.
I hate when that happens.
I know.
I mean,
crazy, man. Crazy.
It's only been a couple of times, but both times suck. But my question is,
horrible.
you got the law enforcement officer that makes the 911 call. So does the call go like this? Hey, this is Officer so-and-so. There is a shirtless man going crazy in the back of a van. I need to report this. And dispatch goes,
what?
Aren't you on duty and a cop? Can't you take care of this? And he goes,
oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Or he just carries handcuffs because he was also at Padin's hotel room. One of the two. I don't know. One of the two. All right. So also Fort Worth, woman faces assault charges after naked rampage at Dallas Fort Worth Airport, police say. A woman is expected to be charged after running naked through Dallas Fort Worth International Airport and attacking airport staff on March 14th. Keep in mind, I flew in on March 25th. I just missed this shit. So, I mean, okay, 11 days, but still pretty cool. According to a police report, police responded to the airport's Terminal D around 3:30 p.m. in regards to a welfare check, according to police. Upon opening the fire exit door, they located a woman who was surrounded by blood. Witnesses told officers that she had stabbed someone with a pencil, according to the police. While suffering from an apparent mental health episode, the woman stripped off. She should listen to our show next week. She stripped off all of her clothing and began to attack people, police said. A nearby restaurant kitchen manager tried to subdue the woman and was bitten on the right forearm, causing him to bleed, according to the report. The woman then grabbed a pencil out of the restaurant manager's shirt pocket and stabbed him multiple times in the face and head. While speaking to police, the woman told officers that she was a goddess and she had come from hell and she was here to do her thing, according to the report.
Rob, the cigar czar, says, of course the naked woman would be in Terminal D.
She sure is. She was looking for the D.
She was looking for Terminal D.
She told police that she arrived at the airport in a car and she had manifested and was admitted to wanting to hurt others, according to police. Police later learned that she was traveling with her... Oh, fuck. I didn't even read this earlier. She was traveling with her 8-year-old daughter, according to the report.
See what kids will do to you?
That just went from funny to sad. That's pretty fucked up. The woman was hospitalized on an emergency mental health hold, and she faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The pencil is a
number
deadly
2 pencil
weapon, apparently. All right, so this one is a where in the world is this? And it's a pretty short one, but that's what she said. So let me see here. Agricultural specialist found 37 insects concealed in potato chip and chocolate packages during a physical inspection of an air cargo shipment from what country? Exotic insects are often brought into the country through LAX, and enthusiasts, Custom and Border Patrol said the contraband was valued at $1,500. So there is a picture. I don't know if I can, so I got to put my finger over this shit. So let me show you the picture. So there's actually like beetles and roaches and flies and all kinds of shit that were concealed in these that Custom and Border Patrol confiscated. What country did they originate from?
Thailand.
Any guesses? Anybody? Anybody in the comments? Come on. We got to at least have one comment. It makes me feel like I'm doing something here, even though we don't have a sponsor.
Samsa says Honduras.
Honduras and Thailand. You guys aren't super far off.
Indonesia.
They originated from
Australia.
They originated from. Come on, one person's got to get it right. He's kind of close, I guess. No. They originated from Japan.
Korea. Japan.
Huh. So super strange, but pretty cool story. I got a few more of those for the next couple of weeks. That shit flying through LAX is pretty absurd. So it's pretty cool though. Pretty cool.
Oversized truck in the HEB lane, gas station cowboy in a hurricane, armadillo trotting through the parking lot, buggies at dawn and it don't no stop. Meanwhile in Texas, hold my drink, watch me. Meanwhile in Texas, you can't make this up, can you? Meanwhile in Texas, somebody wrestled a gator at a Buc-ee's again. Meanwhile in Texas, only on the Real Smoke Podcast.
I love it, man. Bravo.
2 weeks of some Meanwhile in Texas.
Yes, sir. Next week will be another amazing Texas story. Maybe a lady with a number 3 pencil next week. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Interesting. Next week is Men's Mental Health. I guess night. We do have Josh Coburn and Pew Pew Tactical on. So
me too.
It's going to be interesting. I haven't met Pew Pew before. It's going to be interesting meeting him, and I know Josh and him are really close friends, so I can't wait to see what they bring to it and what conversations we get into, because it's a completely different group of people. It's a new vibe on this one, so it's going to be fun. So stay tuned to that one. There's only a couple of shows left until we take a week off. It will be ending season 3, going into season 4. So it'll be my anniversary with Jennifer, and we will be in the Charleston area. So if any of our watchers are in that area, hit us up. We do usually end the evening or sometime during the day at a cigar lounge over in James Island or out in Charleston or Somerville or things like that. So hit us up and we may meet out that way. But a couple more shows coming up. Next week's going to be a good one. Mick, what else you got to say?
Not much, man. I'm going to throw up this patch one more time. If you're not following Adroit Theory and you have any interest in amazing beer, Mark was not only an amazing guest, he was somebody that truly is in my top 5 of Adroit Theory is one of my top 5 breweries in the world, and they have been for quite some time. They're constantly unique and ever evolving, and something that I feel like we try to do as a podcast. So I think that's why we mesh so well with Mark. I mean, we're constantly trying to evolve and grow and bring something new to the table, and that's what Mark does. But regardless of that, we've definitely we've had some amazing guests on already this year, man. I'm excited for mental health next week. I think I might need it by next Thursday. I fly out next Friday to go home. It's already been a long week, but man, amazing work as always. I know we kind of threw a few things together at the last minute there with Definition. Can't wait to see what Jamon brings us, the new sponsor to the show. Thanks so much for that. All of our returning sponsors, thank you for that. We do have that open Meanwhile Memphis spot. Don't forget about that. Vacuum cleaner guy, set me up. Send me a DM. We'll get something hooked up for a sponsorship spot. But man,
just don't suck.
Yeah, just don't suck if you're gonna join that. So now we love all you guys, man. We the following every week, the comments, everything, the interaction with fans. That's why we do this. So take time this week, smoke a great cigar with someone you love, and we will see you guys next week for another great show. Charles?
Only thing I got to say is what you said earlier. Go check on your peoples. Everybody have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you next week. Peace.
The smoke is thick, the air is tight, cigars are lit, oh what a sight. Pour the whiskey, tequila too, this one for Mick and Charles and you. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. Conversations deep, the stories fly. Ashes fall, with spirits high. The gas is rolling, the pictures flow. You've kept us burning, don't let it go. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. From the puff of the flame to the end of the night, you're part of the glow, you're part of the light. Mick and Charles with a laugh and a grin. This flame burns bright 'cause you